Hey guys, how's it going? So, today I wanted to play some more Arknights. I know my streaming schedule's been a little bit sporadic compared to usual. I've just had still some really bad health issues. Still trying to get them addressed. I have a doctor's appointment on Friday. But I wanted to go ahead and stream some Arknights. The Dorothy's Vision event is finally out. I know people have memed it really hard because generally speaking, the global server still always falls like 6 months behind the CN server. But this event for some reason got delayed. It was supposed to be like before the Gavio Altar event, I think. But I really do like the character. I figured we'd roll for Dorothy. I think what I'm gonna do, because there's so many upcoming really good characters in Arknights. I mean, it's the exact opposite of Genshin, where it's like there's so many good operators coming up that it's crazy. I mean, we have Molinar, Neural, and Blemishine's uncle, who's supposed to be like the best unit in the game. We have another one of the dragon siblings with like Ling and Neon. I believe his name is Chongyue, or Chongyue, the first of the dragon brothers that we're gonna meet. We have like the Rat King's daughter Lin, but the two that I'm really looking to roll the most on, I think, and part of the reason why I'm probably just gonna roll for 1 6-star, and then if we lose 50-50, we lose 50-50, is that in 6 months, it's like the latest banner we have announced. We have the Monster Hunter collab. And even though it's different versions of Norcorn and Yato, we haven't seen a rerun of the R6 collab. You see this in games like Azure Lane, where some collabs haven't come back in like 4+ years. There's no guarantee that that banner will come back. And more so than that, the banner I want to roll on the most, I'm even considering going to like 300 posts for a Spark, is the Texas Altar banner. She's my favorite character. I mean, of my top 3, Neural already has an Altar. And I kind of doubt that CG is ever going to get one because she plays such a crucial part in the story that I kind of doubt they're going to go set aside time to give her like an event for an altar. But we'll just see. I mean, I'm really looking forward to that event. So, I don't know. She's like the only character I've even thought about trying to get P6 on purpose. The only non-like welfare unit like Glaudia that I have as a 6-star with max potential is Spectre Altar, and that's because at the time of Stultifer and Novice, I had every limited character except Rosemontis, so I sparked her there. But anyway, let me turn back on the game sound, and let's hop into it. I mean, let's just go ahead and pull. It's not one of the events that's going to give you a bunch of like a run drum or free pulls or anything, unfortunately, which is fine. But let's just see if we win 50-50. I mean, you're looking at a guy who's lost his last like that's 5-star. His last like 6 50-50s in Genshin, so we'll see. And speaking of Reed Alter is coming up too eventually, but she isn't a limited character, which is surprising. And that's part of the reason why I'm not worried, even about like Molinar. If I lose 50-50 on him, he may be the most busted unit in the game, but I don't really feel like I need him, to be honest. I mean, it'd be nice, but I can survive without him, and he'll come back. A unit that powerful has to come back, whereas units like Tex Altar is actually going to be kind of obnoxious to get later. Here we go. I mean, that was pretty early, so maybe we'll try again. I mean, 6-star luck in this game without a guarantee can get a little bit sketchy. What a Pinecone. Pinecone's one of the 4-star units I've thought about raising for IS2. Midnight. Heat color. Okay. Midnight. 5-star, huh? Blue poison. I don't think are you guaranteed? I never remember to check. I could probably just look over my old footage for polls and stuff like that, but are you guaranteed a 5-star and a 6-star in 10 polls that you get a 6-star in? I didn't think that was the case. But we got another 5-star. Oh! I forgot Grey Altar was here too. I will say, if we can get Dorothy, I'm really excited. I've loved like the trap aesthetic that you get with like, I think it's Robin and Frost, but they aren't exactly super powerful. So I'd really like to like see how good a 6-star character could be. Looks like it might be the last poll too. We'll see. I mean, I have decent Arknight luck. I know I just jinxed myself, but I've also randomly gotten like, I think I got Ebon Holes on accident, which was, oh nice, okay, I'll take it. And it looks, oh, there's a Vigna afterwards. I'll take it. I was gonna say we might try and use her if we get her, but I wasn't sure if we would. Read potential. Yeah, Read Alter is an incantation medic, which looks insane. I mean, I leveled up my Hibiscus Altar, and overall, I think she's marked. Overall, I haven't been super impressed. I think it almost feels like a class that's trying too hard to be like a mix between a medic and a medic and a damage dealer. But I like the idea. I really do. And we've seen with units like Kautsit just how busted. Well, I haven't even leveled Gray, but we've seen with like Kautsit just how busted it can be when a medic does damage. Here we go. Jazz voice actor. I'll have to look through other voice actors. There are certain Ian voice actors that I actually really like. I think I've mentioned it before. I think it's Cruce's voice actor reminds me a lot of Fire Emblem Tiki, and I've actually been playing the new Fire Emblem Engage a little bit off stream. I thought about streaming it, but Fire Emblem games just take forever to play through, and with more recent ones, they take a really long time in between battles. But I've been enjoying that game. Let's see, I should have enough resources to completely E2 her. Okay, we need to make some polymerization preparations. We'll probably just go ahead and use her, because she'll get bonus trust. Is the reason I'm just doing this now. Oh, we need to switch out our operator in here. And at the end, maybe we'll do like an IS-2 run or something like that. I've actually still been enjoying it. What's crazy is we should be getting some new stuff for IS-3. I'm assuming pretty soon. What was it I needed? Oh. 3 of these. But I have to assume it, IS-3 is pretty soon. Because we didn't get a new monthly squad this time. We got the ability to play all the old monthly squads, so I went back and filled out the story for some of them. But, I mean, I'd be super hyped. Because when IS-3 comes out, I'm definitely going to do at least a few. I need to switch my units out. I always forget to do this when I'm mass producing stuff here. But, I'm like super hyped for IS-3. I think it's going to be such a fun mode. As much as I love Arknights in general, I didn't fall in love with like the high difficulty, high risk, or whatever it's called, like contingency contracts, all that stuff. I enjoy really tough game modes. I've played all the Souls games and stuff, but it just didn't really click with me as much as the roguelike did. But anyway, let's see your E2 art. I actually don't know what it is. Nice, that's not bad. Okay, Mechanist says my command of resonance might come in handy, huh? Let's take a quick look at her skills. I already have a general idea, but yeah, when a trap is triggered, deals damage, minus defense, active gives you a trap immediately. I don't know how many she can hold. Trap is triggered, 200 physical, binds them. And then I think this is the one that... yeah, this is the one that does like a cross of lightning. It looks really cool. I don't know if I'll give her any masteries yet. We'll have to see. I mean, you never know. And then trying to decide how far we want to level her. I usually take my 6-star operators nowadays to E260. That way if they ever get a module, it's ready for there, but I'm not leveling up like the last 30 levels for a little bit of stats. It's helpful, but it lets me raise more operators. I feel that way. Oh, I should have marked her. Go ahead and mark Gray too. But like, as you can see just on this list, I have so many operators I'm thinking about E2ing that I've got marked up and ready to go, that I'd rather have a big roster of characters to play, because before I was leveling characters up to like here, and it just didn't feel super worth it. Same thing with like 5 stars, so I've been taking like E2 50. Because I think that's the point at which you can really see how well they do. You can obviously borrow like friends versions as well, but this is just how I usually play. Anyway, let's hop into the event. As always, with Arknights, I usually just read the story on my own. I don't think I have the voice acting skill to really just straight up do all this stuff. You know, just read all of it. That and a lot of the Arknights story is just really sad. And I feel like it's going to make me sad. Some of them are wholesome. Like, I really liked the Casimir story. But I know Ryan Lab in general is probably not going to be a happy one, given that they've had experiments like Telopsis, like Ifrit, which is part of what drove like Silence and Soraya apart. Just not a happy time. Maybe eventually I'll go through and like read a bunch of the stories, because it's not like you can't just reread them through the archives. Because I'd be really maybe one day. I'd be interested in just reading through some of these old ones again. On stream, I think that'd be fun. Good way to practice getting better at like voice acting and stuff, I guess. But I think about just the sheer amount of trauma that comes from some of these stories that I'm just not super interested. Oh, and speaking of modules from earlier, they did finally give Exia a module. And Exia is my primary anti-air sniper. Because I didn't get Arquetto until like way recently. And so I think she's up here somewhere. But my Arquetto's E136, my Ash is E122. I just never raised Ash, to be honest, but we'll see. Ash, I know, is like the big winner out of the R6 event from way back when, but I really don't think there's any news of them ever redoing this collab, which is disappointing. But again, it's the reason why I'm probably going to save up a decent amount to try and do both the Monster Hunter 6 stars, because there's a high chance they just never come back. But Exia's module, I think I saw this a little bit. Attacks aerials, increases attack to 110. Does she naturally have that? I don't think she does. I mean, Exia, this doesn't seem like the most. I could be wrong. The most, like, it's, every module's nice. It gives you some basic stats and stuff. It's better than having no module. But it's not like she doesn't already just demolish and aerial units in general. As far as these go, that's not hard. This is interesting. I was reading this earlier. It's just funny because nowadays we have so many other options to just blitz Frost Nova. But back in the day, Exia S3 was one of the primary ways people beat Frost Nova. I don't know if that's even what my auto deploy is. I don't think it is. But, because I only did it once, I think. But Exia I've used for such a long time. She was my first 6-star. Really like the character. Definitely high up in usage. I think the only anti-air unit I use more in any other aspect is in IS2. I use Cruise more because Cruise is free and takes care of most of your anti-air needs. But anyways, let's hop into this. Current Trust, Great Lightning Bear. Is she... Oh, wait a second. No, I was about to say I didn't see her, but she's probably the... We probably saw this already, but... Yeah, okay. I believe this is Astasia's sister. So, interesting unit. For sure, I usually try and clear out, at the very least, this portion of the shop and this portion of the shop. Just spend all my resources during the event on farming this event, and usually there's some kind of decent material to grab. We'll see. I do really enjoy the Arknights story, but like I said, it's just one of those things where if we sit here and read the entire thing, it's gonna take a long time. Oh, one second. So, okay. Let's go ahead and make sure Exia is in our squad. And let's go ahead and make sure we also take Dorothy. This isn't even the most well-rounded squad. Like, I'll be honest, I know Siege. I mean, I talked about the CN power ranking. The lowest two I remember on that list were Siege and Rosa. I think numbers 1 through 5 were, so it's Molinar, I want to say Surtur, Chalter, Bagpipe, Texalter. I want to say Neural, the Radiant Knight was like 7th or 8th. It is crazy, though, to think about how strong Molinar is going to be when he's considered better than units like Surtur and Chalter. And I mean, looking at his kit, the only real downside I've seen to it is that he is a Liberator Guard, so when his skill isn't active, he's like Tequila. When his skill isn't active, I don't think he has block. But that's really a super workable issue, I guess, with the kit. Overall, though, I usually just use my favorite characters. Like, I'm super excited, and I think on the Tex Alter event is when we get the ability to deploy altars with the regular versions, which is interesting. Like, I've really wanted to try and get into Niche Knights, and I've heard that's really, really, really good for Abyssal Hunters. But Abyssal Hunters, I know, is like a crazy strong niche. But anyways, let's go ahead and pop Dorothy in here. I don't know what the range of her trap's in. I usually bring Golden Glow just for the global presence. But I'm excited to try her out. Like, everything I've seen about Dorothy's kit actually makes me really excited to see her used. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, I know a little bit about the Rhine Lab story. I'm 100% certain it is not a happy a happy story to be talking about. No, that's Shelter. Part of the reason I haven't changed a lot of my voice lines too is I've gotten used to Are these the units that you have to hit a bunch of times? Or are they like the paper cranes from Dorothy? But part of the reason I haven't changed things so far too is, okay, she is a ranged unit. She automatically deploys. So deploy up to 8 resident. I should have read there's moving polder, but can store up to 10. Will trigger its effect when stepped on. Immediately deploys 2. Okay, she does just deploy 2 within attack range immediately. When they're deployed. Okay, that's interesting. So that's almost like Dusk's talent. Where when Dusk kills an enemy, she gets a small stacking attack % bonus. Stacking up to a certain amount of time. I do wonder if eventually she'll get a module that will increase that stacking bonus, because Dusk got the same. But we'll see. I wanted to see. So I know you can only deploy them on. So they seem like they activate really fast. That's important to note. They also seem like they have a really wide range, at least on S3. They can't be deployed on tiles that enemies are actively sitting on. But I actually really like this. I think this could be insane for IS2. The active effect, yeah. I think the active effect on all 3 skills was that she just passively gains them. You have to consider in a mode like IS3 too, you can get severely increased auto regen. So you could end up with a Dorothy that is long, and they only cost 3 SP to drop. You could end up with a Dorothy that's literally just dropping these things over and over and over. We'll say sometimes they'll probably get in the way, especially the auto deploy ones. I don't think that'll be a huge issue. And I do hope eventually Siege gets a... I know she gets a module eventually that actually is supposed to help her quite a bit. But, man, I just really like Siege. Design-wise and everything, I know she gets memed on for being like a saber face like Fate. But I really like Siege. One of my favorite designs. Siege, Neuro, and Texas are the 3 I really like. But yeah, Rhine Labs is kind of a terrible place. Part of the problem with altars too is that, and the reason why nobody thought there was going to be like a 2-star altar, which we got proven wrong with the collab. For like Yato, Yato for example was called, like, I think at one point the backbone of Rhodes Island. So it's difficult to make, because they won't do altars, they've kind of shown, and you know, maybe it'll change one day, but they won't do altars of units that like would come from their past. Which is also why people didn't think we'd ever get like a Mafioso Texas, but then we got an event that brings Texas back to Siracusa. It's also the reasoning people have for thinking at one point that there wasn't going to be like an altar Shining or Nightingale. But generally speaking, I mean, there's not a reason that we can't have an event to return people to places from their past, which is what they've done. But it has to be something that could feasibly happen in their future, and so it's difficult for people to see, I remember, that a unit like Yato or Norcorn, who are basically fully fledged operators already, to have something happen. Whereas like a unit like Lava or Hibiscus, they're still pretty young, they had lots of room to grow. It's why they think, I've heard people thinking that eventually we'll get an altar for like Fang or Cardigan, which I wouldn't be terribly surprised. It's always weird playing this game on PC. I usually do play on just on mobile. A little bit easier that way. I'll say other units I've had. Pozimka and Gabriel the Invincible, I think, are both insane units. Ever since getting them, I've used both of them quite a bit. They're pretty crazy. It does seem like with Dorothy, though, having decent GP generation is probably important. But given that she... Oh, we need to... Yeah. But given that she only requires 3 DP to release a trap, it's not like she's heavy on the cost. Which is important for a Trap Master. I actually think... I think it was like Frost... Because it's her bear trap, she doesn't get as much. But I think they cost more. But to get max value out of Dorothy, it seems like you really want to be spamming these traps to get her that attack % bonus. But it goes back to, I think she could be... I don't know if she'd be a character that could solo clear stages super easily, but she definitely seems like a powerful character just from first impressions. Anyway, I usually do once I'm good on DP with these. I mean, we have a pretty decent deployment limit in these stages. Because I'll do something like, I still really like Lapland. I know I have Thorns, I know I have other really good Lord units raised. I just like Lapland. Same thing, I mean, outside of like high contingency contract, or modes like IS2 where you have to be very careful with who you use, it's not like you can't just use your favorite units. Otherwise I'd be using like Myrtle instead of Texas, or probably Siege every single stage. Which on harder stages, I do. Yeah, none of these early stages should be too difficult. I like the idea. I mean, design-wise, from what I've seen, I really liked the design of the... I can't remember what the name of the events were. I think it was like the Solace Holiday. They just did a rerun on it. But I really liked the design of like the summer stages. I thought they did a good job with those. But I've looked and I really like just everything about the Texas Altar event really suggests to me it's going to be like one of my favorite events ever. Although I am biased again. This is Ryan Tech's R Series Power Armor. It's inactive. Careful with the test subjects, he gives them to me. Huh. Okay. I think I saw something about like these try to go through and power up the machines, but I could be wrong. I assume you've noticed enemies approaching from the other direction. Yeah, it's kind of hard to miss. Subjects approach the power armor, they will be... Okay, that's quite a bit of charge. The power armor will activate and initiate search and destroy protocols when fully charged. Good thing we have operators from Ryan Lab, I suppose. I mean, just imagine you go to some of these places and you know literally no one. Duration is stable but requires operator assistance. There's another... Oop. Sometimes I swear on these tutorials you click and it skips it, and you click and it just takes you to the full dialogue. Right, so I have no idea what exactly we're doing here. Do I need to... I'll put her there just in case this one's activated. There's only 10 enemies. I would say I shouldn't fail a tutorial stage, but I've definitely failed tutorial stages before like a moron, so... Are you gonna be okay, Kuwara? That doesn't look super healthy for you. Your skill's up, at least. So it looks like the robots, since they're potentially not activated, don't even count towards the... Oh, she's stunned. But it looks like they don't even count towards the, like, unit count. I probably should have activated that earlier, but it's fine. Interesting. It's nice to see an event with characters that you use though a lot. I don't use Silence ever, and I use Ifrit very sparingly. I mean, I recently E2'd her for the puppets in IS2, and it didn't feel as good as using Rosa anyways. You have Top Secret, huh? Interesting. Oh, okay. Defeat at least one heavy power armor, so we need to let a power armor through. Yeah, I hate to skip the story. I mean, we could read it on stream. I just think it's gonna be really sad. Like, I don't doubt that, like, the Texas one will be sad too, but I'm just significantly more invested in the character. I have no problem with admitting I'm biased towards certain characters. That being said, it said to let... We'll try and let this power armor get through, I think. That is gonna go through a lot faster than I meant for it to. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Okay. Do this. Up with this. Oh, it doesn't look like it's gonna move immediately. I just wanted to make sure for that, like, classified mission. I think it was clear, it said DV4, and then defeat at least one power armor on this stage. Wanted to make sure we did that. Was that one activated? Didn't think it was, but I could be wrong. Go ahead and play some more Dorothy. Yeah, I already feel like one bad thing though is I'm not spamming the traps as often as I maybe need to. Or maybe you can just destroy the power armors without them being activated. That would also make sense. All things said and done. Between shelter, I mean, I don't even use Surtur most of the time. It feels so overkill. If I need to, like, I remember my first couple clears on the Playwright, I no shame use Surtur. But using Surtur just feels like, oh, that's not even going to get activated, is it? Using Surtur just feels like such insane overkill. It's kind of funny. Stacking up to 10. I wish there was like a... Obviously, I could just, you know, keep track. But I wish that there was some way of giving like a quick counter of just how many traps had been activated. Because I haven't been paying attention. Let's go ahead and pop her out. Drop Soraya. I would say the traps aren't like crazy powerful. I'm sure masteries would help. I am thinking already about giving a couple masteries too. I don't always go to M3 on skills, just because the amount of investment it takes. But the skills seem powerful enough that I might just go ahead and put a few skills into this. I'll try the other ones probably eventually, but S3 is the one I'd seen. S3 was the reason I wanted to get her because it looks so cool. Because we can go back and check. I know, obviously, I can't remember. I think it was... Is it Robin that's the other trap master? I know at the very least there's Frost, who I got back in the day on the collab, but never really used. But yeah, it's the Welcome Mat. Trigger deals 200% attack and stuns the target. That's not unhelpful. Well, it looks like it is the exact same active effect. Not unhelpful, but like a 1 second stun, you can do a lot better. Her other skill is... deals 100% damage, binds the target for a second and a half. If the target's in range, immediately attack them 3 times. Interesting. So it's basically like how you would play Frost in R6. One skill is just the ability to use a trap and just mess with them. And then the other one kind of gives you the ability to get the jump on them. So unlike Dorothy, though, you want to use her traps, it looks like, in Frost's range. Not a bad character. And it does make sense that as a 6-star, Dorothy would be, like, the top of the line, but still. I am confused on this. We'll come back to this once we've completed DP4, I guess. I always take a quick look at the stage, or at least I try to remember to, just to see if I need to change up my lineup, but to be honest, until, like, on the base stages for events, usually it's only the last one that if I'm gonna have trouble. I do remember, though, that one stage, I can't remember which event it was, but it was the one that you had to use Ethan. Well, you didn't have to, but it was significantly easier if you used Ethan to cheese. That was obnoxious. It was something. Anyway, this looks like one a little bit more melee favored. We could use our range units. Like, I might just drop Shelter here and have her blast these suits real quick. Shelter just kind of fixes most problems. I'd say I have a problem with using it if I did, but I don't care. I have no problems with using a unit like Shelter or Surtur. I just don't enjoy using Surtur. All it really comes down to. What hit her? Oh, probably this. There we go. Now we don't have to worry about the suits at all. In all honesty, a lot of times on these stages, I don't have Phantom, but I still think Project Red is underrated. I do think she's getting power crept by Tex Alter, as is Phantom, but I still really enjoy using Project Red a lot of the time. I use her in a lot of my IS2 runs. I think she's really underrated there too. And even once Tex Alter comes out, she'll be cheaper. They are decimating her health bar, and I really don't want to use Telopsis' skill just for her. I just realized too we want to do damage with Exia because of her module. I forgot about that. I mean... I can always readjust my auto-deploy later. And I'll have to remember, I don't think killing Frost Nova with Exia is going to be too bad. I just haven't fought that stage in such a long time. The problem too with Exia's S3 is, I think I have her on like Mastery 2. I know giving her, you know, people talk about it, but like for auto-deploy that is reliant on Exia's S3. It can be a little bit awkward just because it's kind of skewed based on... Oh, what? Exia's S3 can be a little bit skewed on... Did I not do this? Oh, this is completed. Analyze. Without defeating Dorothy. What? I know Dorothy is an enemy in some of these stages, but you can clear it without killing her? That's interesting. She must not count towards the unit count in the stage. But, yeah, I'm excited to see what the last stage is. Generally speaking, a lot of these... I don't think a lot of these event stages are usually that hard, to be honest. But the one that really sticks in my mind... I can't even remember what event it is. I just remember it was the big dragon that summoned a ton of flames. And Ethan cheesed that boss super hard, but if you didn't have Ethan, that stage was such a nightmare. It was insane. Looks like we got a unit going here. That might not have been the best position for her, because it's gonna run past her, yeah. I can stop it in time. Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna redo this stage real quick. I don't ever use practice mode, which is probably foolish of me. I didn't expect that thing to tear through Neural Alter that fast. Because a lot of times you can just straight up hella drop Neural Alter and she'll survive until her S3's up and then the sword will help take aggro. Didn't think that was gonna happen like that. In fact, let's do Texas first. I've always liked, though, with Sound On, that they just has one of the operators give out like a really loud voice line. Let's go ahead and do this. That might be a bit better positioning. As for the drop, as always, if I was really worried about DP generation, I would not be using the units that I'm using. Get a medic down. That thing does so much damage. Top siege. The only problem I think eventually with... Oh, I didn't think about that. I'm so sorry, Dorothy. We'll try and save you in a... I mean, she's doing a lot of damage. I'm kind of okay with just coming back later and trying to save her. Now we deploy our own Dorothy. So let's hold off and deploy. I do need another medic, like really badly. Because even after all this time, I still don't have Nightingale. I have raised Perfumer. It wasn't a bad option, but do that. Keep forgetting that we need to do damage with Exie as well. And in fact, we could just do this and she'll help out. Sarai, I feel like, I don't know if I can say she's underrated, but Sarai's just such a good unit. Kind of crazy. Even just using S2. I mean, I know S2 isn't as good as Calcification or S3, but I feel like if you just need someone to sit there and be self-sufficient, S2 is nice. S3's Arts Damage Amp is also really nice, but you also have to consider I'm missing most of the really powerful casters in the game. Like, I don't have Aya still. Little bit difficult. Oh, there's another top secret. I think at least one. Oh, that's what it was. So it gives you the next file after completing. Okay. I was confused on this at first. I'm curious if there's a... There's obviously always going to be... Oh, right. We get... Skin. Wonder if she'll be good. There's a lot of really underrated 4 and 5 star units though recently that I've been leveling and realizing, wow, these units are really busted. I mean, that's the story of how I think a lot of people who didn't know how busted Murder was kind of came into realizing. But I was curious, what are those decryptions for? It's either going to give you resources, I'm sure. It's probably for medals. Let's see. So I've gotten these two. Spend a total of tokens. Yeah, one for completing all the data collection. Wait, no, data collection is... Yeah, never mind. I'm dumb. That's always part of it, too. Beat all stages in test site. And maybe we'll come back in like a week when the EX stages release. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I usually don't go meadow hunting, as you can probably tell. I'm more of one for just trying to enjoy the event and then get all the resources here. Usually, I try to prioritize getting the tokens. These characters come back to, and part of the reason I like doing this first section is you usually get like, you know, your character plus their tokens. You get some permits, some data blocks, you get some rare resources. These furnitures are nice to have too because when the event comes back around, you can get some of the like bluish purple tickets. Gives you some free run drum. These are nice. I need to level up some more modules on some characters. Yeah, decent amount of LMD and such. Like, it's just nice to do these events. They make them feel really good to farm. And usually there's at least one stage with some decent resources. Like, this one will have, I don't need polyester packs. But usually there's something. Worst comes to worst, you can just take the extra time and farm the earlier stages. That'll give you Ori rock pieces. Because you always need them. I don't know what it is, but you just consume those things at an ungodly rate in this game. And I'm really pumped though that we did get Dorothy. I was not thinking. I was just expecting. I know I was trying not to jinx it actually, but genuinely my Arknights luck on gacha seems to be pretty decent. Because like I think back to like we talked about my pulling on the Stolte Fairy Novice banner for Spalter. I had, you know, obviously a total of 7 because I have 6 potential Spalters. And I used the Spark on Rosemontes, so I didn't pull and get a unit with that or pull with that. But let's just do this. Let's drop her here. But in total, so that was a total of 3 Irenes for P2 Irene, and then a total of how many did I get? It would have been 7 Spalters. I think I got 1 standard banner character because I know I got a Thorns. But still, even though the limited banners are a what is it? The limited banners are a 70% chance, not a 50% chance of getting the raid up. That's still pretty lucky, I'd say. Because that's far more than a 70% rate of it. It's a little bit weird that she can't drop her sword there. That's usually not an obstacle to Neural Radiant Knight. I could have had better positioning here. I'm very guilty of wanting to bunch my units up really hard every time. And this is why bosses like the Playwright just tossed me the first time I fought it. We haven't seen a mechanic like that, I think, before in other bosses, but like the Playwright, we found out, dumps a huge amount of damage on like every unit, and then it hits the 4 units around them, and that can stack. So like here, it hit like these 4, these 4, these 4, so everyone in this square would get hit 3 times. And that's why we were having so many units just get insta-killed. And it was really sad, actually. It does look like we have to defeat these units, though, which is interesting. Pull her out. She's not in a good position either. I wasn't even paying attention, but yeah, we should probably take care of this. I think these two will be fine to take care of this, although Lapland's pointed the wrong way. That thing is doing a lot more damage than I thought it was, though. It seems to be a recurring trend. I mean, even if she won't reach, what I kind of like about Dorothy versus like the Frostkit we were looking at is I can just... Never mind, I'm a moron. I was about to say like, oh, I can just turn her around and deploy her traps. I forgot you can't deploy traps on stages. That is one, I guess it's a trap, not like an active defense system, but still, I like the idea. And I will say, out of all the skills I've heard of recently, like in the units I have, I gotta say Neural S3 sounds so satisfying. I don't know what it is about the sound design on that skill, but it sounds so good. Crazy. Anyway, record decryption progress. Alright. Defeat all power armors, okay. I feel like I'm not utilizing Dorothy as much as I could be as well. It feels like you need to get her down early and then just spam all her traps. And she gets traps that are pretty decent. That's what I'm saying though, like with enough DP and IS3, if you have like the one that gives you plus 0.5 per second auto regen on skills, you'd be able to just dump those traps out. It's insane. That being said, we haven't used Blemish-Shine at all. I would like Project Red back. If I had Phantom, I would use Phantom probably for the purpose that I use Project Red. But with Module, Project Red is actually surprisingly underrated. I mean, I love her module to max. She deals at least 46% of her attack every attack. Helps her for like higher defense enemies. She still doesn't do a crazy amount of damage, but I like Project Red. She was my first 5-star. Exia and Project Red. Which is ironic because I started playing for Texas and Siege. I didn't even know about Neuro back in the day, actually. Neuro's just one of the operators that really grew on me. Let's try setting up here. Because anything coming through here will have to come through this point. I didn't think about that. That's getting activated like right now. I mean, we talked about getting Dorothy in early. I'm just going to deploy the Radiant Knight, and I deployed her out of a healing radius. Oops. It's fine. Alright, so let's get going with like this. We'll drop Texas here just to start regenerating. I need a medic. It's down a little bit. Oh, that's just the auto ones that you dropped. It does seem to give you a little bit of leeway in that you can still drop them kinda late. Like right as the unit steps onto the tile and it'll still activate. I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit concerned, but we can also just drop Project Red to tank a hit or two. Or like 3 apparently. One issue I have had in the past with using Project Red though is that relying on any fast redeploy operator sometimes messes with your auto deploy. Like sometimes it just does not function correctly. Not too worried about it, but especially like I've had this instance where like if you rely on that sometimes and then the stage fails maybe 1 time out of like 4, farming with like one of those 120 energy packs becomes a nightmare. That being said, we talked about Project Red, let's drop her there. The problem with using Siege S2 as well to generate DP is S3 doesn't even generate DP and S1 feels terrible on any Pioneer Vanguard. She's not generating DP if she's not attacking. Like if I was a smart man, I would probably just go ahead and use Myrtle. But I like Siege, so I'm gonna use Siege. Don't really know what else to say about that. But yeah, the fact that I should have deployed Telopsis right here, so that she's also healed Neural with the Radiant Knight. Luckily, it's not like these stages are like hard enough that she's in threat. Neural is a busted unit, but it could have been a problem. Meanwhile, all this time, Red's just whacking away at this thing, but you can see this thing has 1200 defense. So ordinarily, you know, a unit with Red's attack wouldn't be doing hardly anything to it. But because of Red's skill, she's chipping away at it. I hope I played this correctly though, and we actually do... Uh-oh. I should have deployed Red earlier. We're not going to kill all the power armors, I don't think. Which is fine. In fact, I'm willing to let... Never mind. I was about to say I'm willing to let Neural die. I mean, she's going to die anyways. Just to make sure that we kill this in time. This thing's tanky enough, and we haven't reactivated Chalter S3 though, so we should be good. There we go. Definitely not the cleanest way to play this stage. I mean, I've never seen this stage before, but I wanted to make sure we got rid of all the power armors for that, like, investigation thing. I know people have really smack talked the, like, because it was like a $30 pack. I really like this skin. I also spend more money on gacha games than I probably should. So take that as you will, but I like it. What have we got? Beat all power armors. Did we not just do that? Oh, you go here. Oh, I like that. Is that a skin? We'll do these in a second then. And then the ones that we don't have, we'll go back and do. So yeah, defeat that without defeating Dorothy. I might try and bring a 3rd medic, and then we'll just play back and tank everything. Because Dorothy, it looked like, was going to activate all the power armors on that stage. But that's a really good Soraya skin. Soraya doesn't have terrible skins, but I actually really like that skin. Let's go for it. I don't know if there's 8 or 9 skins. There are 8. I mean, 8 or 9 stages. Let's go ahead and go through with this. Doesn't seem too difficult. It doesn't seem like it's practical, though, to stop the suits from getting charged at all. Like, I thought that might be the way you're supposed to play these stages, Those suits get charged like instantly. It takes 2 of the little paper airplanes. These things are also surprisingly tanky. Let's see what we can do. Wait. Dreamland that Dorothy personally created. Near no one will ever have to suffer the pain of the journey. Yeah, if you kill them, I suppose they don't. I think it's kind of fitting that we're bringing Colossus along to this kind of a battle. If nothing else. That is doing a lot of damage though. I am curious if it's worth it to just drop red on this thing's head and chip it down. I have no idea if it'll have like a second phase or anything. But I mean, as always, at the end of the day, as long as we find a way to protect the object, that thing dumpster shred. Okay, that also really hurt. We might need to switch out to a third medic setup. I would assume that's arts damage, and I still don't have Nightingale. It's crazy how much of a problem that ends up being. I don't know how these are taking damage. Debating what I want to deploy now, actually. Maybe do Soraya here. That way she'll just heal everyone up, and then eventually I always replace my Pioneer Vanguards later into the stage, so that should help out. Unfortunately, Shelter can't reach these other 2 suits. I have no idea how many times this thing is going to warp. I'd like to drop Neural Alter just to duel it, but I'm afraid that might be a bad idea, given how fast Red went down. Because if I deploy my other medic, we'll try it. What is life without a little bit of risk, huh? In fact, let's do this too. Yeah, Red just gets dumpstered, though. Red does not have a lot of health, granted. The problem is right here, I don't think Neuro drops a sword. She does not, because the surrounding tiles are occupied. Let's go ahead and drop Exia here, I guess. Shining is just not that great. I mean, she's good for helping tank physical damage. I usually just use... I know people have talked about how S2... I mean, I'm using S2 Soraya and S2 Shining. I do like this skill, because even if it's post-mitigation, I also feel like just the follow-up damage is often the case, you know? It's not like she's just healing someone and then they're not taking any more damage a lot of the time in this game. So the shield still tends to get value. That being said though, on really, really difficult content, I usually use S3 because that's the better skill for tanking physical damage. We're waiting on Shelter's skill right now. These 2 did do quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, until her skill's up, Neuro won't hit her. I really don't like playing on regular speed, but I feel like it's probably wise. Okay, now it's behind Neuro. That's fine, she'll attack this robot then. And then if it moves up here, I guess we're good on DP, we could do this. And then here's where I would actually replace Siege with Blemishine. I don't think it's that much of an issue. Yeah, honestly, this stage doesn't seem too bad. These things can heal the robots, but it's not going to outpace Neural's damage. Yeah. We can go ahead and recall her. I mean, we can still drop Red, I guess, and have her chip away at it. I wonder if this thing has a second phase. If this thing has a second phase, we might be in a bad position. It does. Just, I don't know. It is not tanky enough to survive Shelter. Well, Shelter is such an insane unit, man. Just blows my mind every time. I mean, Red cutting through, what, like, again, the 46% defense ignore, doing her own thing. Takes a while to cut through. I still don't know why these things are losing health. I would assume it had something to do with the boss mechanic, but I genuinely have no idea. But just watching Shelter or like Surtur cut through enemies is sometimes really funny. My bagpipe too, I mean, I talk about like the top 5 on there. I'm planning on getting Tex Alter, I'm hoping to get Molinar, but my bagpipe's E180, but the few times I've had a chance to try her, she seems like an insane Vanguard. But again, it goes back to just the units I want to use, because I also have a E2 like 50 something, I think, Saga, who is arguably better than both, you know, definitely better than Siege. But it's something that I'm just going to be stubborn about. I really like Siege. And maybe if I use her enough, I'm sure they keep data on that somewhere. Maybe if I use her enough, she'll get an altar someday. I know she's getting a module, but I'm pretty sure it's for S3. And you... At that point, I feel like she's just a bit of a discount guard. Anyway, let's go back and double check this challenge. So it was DB5, 3 stars without defeating Dorothy. I was surprised if Dorothy was going to be an enemy that she's just in DB5 randomly, of all things. Seems a bit odd. But let's go ahead and switch her out. It was nice trying out Dorothy, but let's switch out. Oh, I forgot I had a decent level Warfarin too for some reason. But it kind of feels like Whispering could be a good answer. I really like using Perfumer. I think she's really good. It kind of feels like the answer is just go for a super defensive team and then not play towards the center of the map like we did. Because our Chalter just destroyed all the robots and Dorothy. The problem is if you play too far back, it's gonna be hard to get healing presence on everything you use here. I'm trying to remember what path Dorothy took as well, because that's important. But this setup up here seemed to work fine. Just debating what I want to do here since we're using different positioning. I could do this. I mean, Shiny just does a disappointing amount of healing. Like, I've tried Nightingale too, and Nightingale, for being like her counterpart as Neuro's like companions, I was gonna say bodyguards, but I don't think that's the right word, is kind of just sad. Let's do Blemmy. And hopefully Blemmy just doesn't fold in half. She did get stunned, like instantly. Yeah, we do have to do this with 3 stars. There's Dorothy, so we don't want to be attacking the center. Hopefully she doesn't path through really... Oh, she sets down her traps. Maybe I should have taken Red or Gravel. Gravel is probably better for the purpose of just tanking like traps, but... I didn't realize that because we killed her instantly last time. We'll play on 1x speed too to make sure that we don't accidentally kill her. Which is very much a possibility, I'd say. I don't know if we'll actually need the 3rd medic though. I was thinking we might. It doesn't really seem like it. I just realized last time we did drop Sarai here, which blocks the sword, so maybe we'll just do this. Oh crap. Yeah, we're trying actively not to kill you, Dorothy, and you're making it kind of hard. Believe it or not. My question is then, she definitely doesn't count towards the enemy count, so do we just have to kill everything around her? Texas is going to do negligible damage to her, that'll be fine. She has set down so many traps. Yeah, I really like the animation on the skin. But I also can't deny again that I waste a lot of money on gacha games. My friends chew me out for it all the time, actually. Alright, actually, let's recall Soraya and let Neuro deal with this armor. See, it feels like she's... Does she take these stairs? That there's only 3 more enemies. It said without defeating Dorothy, but did it say with 3 stars, or was it just clear it without defeating Dorothy? Because maybe we're supposed to let her through. Let's see if anything else spawns. Because if it was just with letting her through, then as long as she doesn't take 3 lives, which I don't think she counts as a boss unit, we're fine. Oh, it didn't even count. What? I don't get it. We're not saving that for auto-deploy. That would be painful. But I don't really get it. Go and collect these real quick. Yeah, it looks like the other ones are for clearing these. I don't usually do the challenge mode. I do usually clear all the EX stages. Part of the reason too that I think it'd be boring to watch me do it is, I'll be honest, I usually give it like 5 tries and then I'll look up a guide. I'm by no means like a super crazy good player at games like this. I just enjoy them. Let's see, so we got this. Analyze, analyze. Click that. So I wonder if there's only 2. And do we get the Soraya outfit? I actually really like that. It's not in the skin shop for sure, but I'm confused. Rewards. Give you furniture and such. Checks and balances. Because this is just regular Dorothy. I guess it would be listed under... I'd be really disappointed actually if this wasn't a skin for Soraya. Which it looks like it's not. That actually makes me really sad. But you also have to consider there's like a Gavial swimsuits thing like that. There's definitely things that they've done before where like it shows a model for a character that might not come till later. I mean, they've teased other characters like that before, like Cruz Alter. So I'll still hold out hope. Because I also really like Soraya. There's so many characters in Arknights to be fair, but I've always been curious. I remember once watching like there was a popularity poll. And I know they did a few, but like Exia won #1. I think Texas was like number 8. I'm trying to remember. W was really high up, I remember. Let's see. So we got enemy, right? So we have a free silence and a free. I wonder if this is like a scripted battle where we have certain. Never mind. Let's go ahead and bring back. Who did we? Right. Let's go ahead and bring back Dorothy. Might as well use her. And then I'm gonna switch out for Red again. I just think Red's really good for stages that you're not sure what you're doing. You could argue Gravel could be used for the same purpose. Gravel is obviously tankier and cheaper, but Red actually does damage. Oh, okay. Oh, right, because there's a free Dorothy there. Is it wrong of me to think about just using Sir? Let's use Golden Glow. I like Golden Glow. I mean, to talk about Texas being a big inspiration for my VTuber model, I'm not gonna say it because I don't know if you can get in trouble for this or anything, but I know the artist for Golden Glow, I found out a little bit ago actually, and she's done art for some other characters, was a very famous VTuber. Really cool, just, it reminds me how talented some people in this world are, honestly. It blows my mind. But I know like she'd made art for like Golden Glow and I think Mizuki. Yep. I'm glad you're excited to fight too, Chen. I like Chen too. Like, there's just so many good characters. I mean, like, I love the Silver Ash memes. There's just... yeah, looks like there's one protection objective. I have never used silence in my life. That's already too hard. That looks pretty cool. No, she's like an owl. Anyway, all medic operators gain attack speed. Obtains a medical drone. Drone heals its surrounding allies when entering the battlefield and self-destructs after 10 seconds. That is interesting. Since we have a free Dorothy, we might as well make use of her drones. Although let's catch up on DP, I suppose, because we're playing a selfish build. I wonder how much healing she realistically does. She's also pointed in a bit of a strange direction. Is this just a fully... yeah, they gave us a fully upgraded Dorothy. Kind of makes sense. I like it when games do that. Not just like Genshin will do this in their story quests. But I like it when they give you like a practical application to try out a unit. You know, you can always borrow at least one friend unit, Sage and such, but it just hits a little bit different having your own unit too, I'd say. You only have... Oh, you can only have one. We're gonna need some more DPS for this right side. That'll probably work. Maybe not. That is doing a lot of damage. Okay, let's recall her before we lose the DP. I'd like to hold Siege in Texas in for a little bit longer, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm surprised they even have like these origami cranes coming through, because it seems like Dorothy's able to just infinitely stall them. What we could do is like throw Golden Glow here so she's here by Silence. Hopefully Silence doesn't let her die. But Siege is durable enough that she can hold this thing as long as nothing else comes through. And as long as we continue stacking her attack here, she should be able to... I mean, she seems okay to just hold this side regardless. Pop Golden Glows go. Another one's coming through, but Siege finished up with this one. I really like Golden Glow, though. Global Operators in general. I've thought about E2ing Ambriel, because I know Ambriel's really good for like the puppet fight in IS2, but Ambriel's just another solid character. The only issue I've had with her is that her targeting can be a little wonky. And I think that comes from the fact that when her skill's active, she's global, but she attacks the lowest defense enemy in range, which is actually, I think, not always a good thing. The Neural Altar will absolutely dumpster one of these things. That will Shelter. I'm thinking instead of Gaviel the Invincible, we should have brought Blemmy. I don't know, I still play games super old-fashioned. I know a lot of strategies for like higher CC is just be very specific, very precise, and then just dumpster enemies instead of tanking them. But like, I still use Hoshiguma, I still use Blemish, and just have them just, you know, just go ahead and guard. It usually works. Alright. I was playing large zone 1x speed though, because we're only gonna get one shot. Like, one enemy leaks through, we die. That being said, this robot never got activated because that's where the things that Dorothy was blocking came through. And she did do a really good job. Like, it's interesting to see, like, she seems to do a... Oh, they gave her the binding one, though. That's interesting. I didn't even realize because I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, okay. That's still helpful. Crowd control is always nice. But I like the design of this vent. It's like a dystopian, like it's like a medical lab obviously, but it's like a dystopian one. Really suits in with what I'd imagine Ryan Labs to be. This is extra lore. Didn't have to be super... I like Nightingale, but just... Some characters, they say anything and I just sit there and I'm like, now I'm just sad. Like, actually... Alright, so it's this one. Man, I'm never gonna get over this, like... It's such a good outfit. And I use Soraya all the time. Alright, so we get the 3 Ryan Lab employees again. It looks like we don't get Ifrit, which is surprising. Granted, I don't think we've had a stage yet. Like here, if I was to use Ifrit, I guess I could set her here. But Ifrit's just so specific. On the stages that she's good on, she is broken. On the stages that she's bad on, she's useless. Forgot about that. I even mentioned that we were going to get a free Soraya, and then immediately, let's bring Spalter. Literally the only operator that I have at P6. That's a 6-star at least. And, not, you know, like Glotty or Lumen. She's powerful, like, and with her module, I know she has her X or her Y module as well. Oof, hiccup. She has her Y module as well, but like, geez, the module for I think this will be enough actually, because then she also receives her eye healing and silence healing. But the module for X on Spalter is insane. It blows my mind how much damage it does. But these don't really seem to be like stages meant to be just incredibly difficult. They seem to be almost showcase stages, which is fine by me. I assume that's what they were, but... I do want to deploy Chalter right here. That's why I made sure she could at least cover one tile. Chalter and Neural Alter, the only issue they're going to have is that Neural without sword can only block one enemy, which might be an issue here, actually. I was about to say shouldn't be a problem, and immediately... immediately, it's like, oh, wait a second. Just drop Gabriel the Invincible here. I will say without S3, Gabriel isn't crazy tanky, but you're not really playing her to be a tank. Most of the time, at least. Centurion's kind of, I feel, serve a bit of that middle ground. Let's slow this down a little bit. We could definitely be deploying more Dorothy traps too. I didn't even think about that. Off this. This big boy's coming through and chunking people. Hopefully they can take her out. We can deploy one more unit. Let's deploy Golden Glow because she'll just generally be useful. Golden Glow's like one of those units like Project Red though that if I'm not sure what else I need in a team, I'll just pop her in because she'll be able to hit everything. Although she is getting dumpster. Yeah, that healing drone isn't bad actually. I talk about units that I haven't used that are underrated. Silent seems like a pretty solid unit. Actually lay down some traps because I keep forgetting. There's 5 units left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we don't actually need these two on field anymore. Drop. I don't remember which direction they're coming through, if I'm being 100% honest. We could just make sure nobody dies, and it's definitely not the optimal setup, but pretty sure this will do. Yeah, just these two. Yeah, I don't mind this. I genuinely do like this, but it does seem like these were just meant to be... And we could even have Spalter use her skills so that she gets her passive up. If they even survive that long. But it feels like more of like a showcase of units than anything else. Yeah, it didn't even last that timer. But that form in X module on Spalter is what makes, I feel, Spalter so busted. Just like to do that much arts damage and have that powerful of a slow blows my mind every time. Like a Milfoy. Is this where... Is that voice line? I've seen it before, but is that voice line why people have made the meme of like Texas making Milfoy? Because... I don't want to be biased or like judgmental, but if there's a character in Arknights that I can't imagine cooking under any circumstance, it's probably Lappy. Unless she was like trying to woo Texas or something, I suppose. Trying to pick a fight through some strange indirect means. Anyway. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I definitely, as always, I mean, just playing through the base stages in an Arknights event doesn't take that long. It's why I am thinking about just doing like a 3-4 hour stream where I read through all the lore when we get Texas Altar event, which I think is at the end of April. I could be wrong, but I believe that's when it's coming. Like we could have done this year. I just don't feel like I have the best, like, soothing voice, to be honest. I think the only compliment I've really gotten, like I know I do singing and stuff, and that's a little bit different. But as far as just, like, reading stuff out and talking, I've been told by, like, friends they think it's like a radio host voice, almost. Don't know if that's accurate, but, you know, either way, though, so far, enjoying this event. I don't know if we'll do 321, yeah, a week from today. Maybe we'll do another stream where we do this. But I do still want to do a couple IS2 runs. It's kind of my fallback for Arknights. I don't know what else I want to stream. Because Genshin and VAC and Arknights feel like games that it's kind of difficult to make, like, just, you know, stream 3-4 times a week. But I'd like to get back into doing with my health's really back in line. Kind of difficult to make that out of those types of games, to be honest. Is why I really like roguelikes, is the replayability is so high. But... kind of like what I was talking about is now you can get all of the monthly squads. The ones I didn't have completed, so this one was not hard at all. It was a bit strange just because Mudrock can't even be healed by Warfarin, but it was a very solid starting squad. This one was a really solid starting squad. I wanted Palace for a while, but again, not a hard one. This one took me a couple tries. I had never used I'd used Aosta before, actually, I think. But, I actually really like Kiave. Like, these opportunities to force you into using other operatives, because I'm someone who's very guilty of just falling into units that they're comfortable with in games, and then not using anything else. Those opportunities that force you into using other ones, I think can be really, really cool. Because I found out I don't like Broca very much, but Kiave's Blazing Wire Stripper, I just like the visual effect on it. It was cool. But we'll see. But because this month didn't have a new one, and then again, looking at the date that IS3 was released, I'm pretty sure IS3 came out before the Texas Alter event did. And again, if we're not going to have another weird situation where an event like Dorothy's Vision is just super delayed, I think that means maybe around the beginning of next month we'll get it. Could be wrong. Wouldn't bank on that or anything, but super excited for IS3. I think it's going to be so much fun. As far as completing IS2 though goes, this is not the correct one, is it? Regular operations, Crimson. Here we go. So I haven't picked up every collectible, but off stream I got a couple more. Yeah, here we go. So I don't know what these do. Well, I have obviously a general idea of what this one does. But the only one I'm missing is to do the emergency op, sculptor, and statue without losing any life points. I know which stage this is. It's an early to mid stage actually. I did a few more attempts, not to the player. Actually, I just did like some random runs to Phantom, just trying out a few different strategies because you have to fight Phantom anyways to do the third or the fourth ending. But this is the stage early to mid where you have like 2 pillars that you can drop vertically. And you get like those birds that you get towards the end of the Big Sad Lock ending. Which with this last patch for IS2, I really liked that they added in enemies like the puppets that you maybe wouldn't even have to fight. Like the puppet in that entry stage, a lot of times, unless it's an emergency op, will just die to the flames it spawns on. But it lets you see them earlier on so you don't have to, you know, not an uncommon enemy mid-late game, but it's cool to see. But I just don't even think I've seen the emergency op version of this stage. As far as other things to complete, it would just be going ahead and beating the playwright with the other squads. We've done it with, I would argue, the 3 easiest squads to do, at least for my account. Immediate promotions on these two. These 2 squads are insanely easy to do it with. We had to do a couple tries on this one, but the thing is, with these 4 squads, it comes down to how many free upgrades you can get. Guards are my primary win con for most of the endgame fights. And we can use Myrtle, you know, decent number of units here. Here you can go with like Exia, Chalter. We use Rosa for the puppets. There's just like almost no downside. And then having your medics early as well makes, especially the third floor boss fight, a lot easier. This one, we've been doing passenger start when we do this one. I had a hard time with this one so far. This one, I don't even know what I'm going to do. Because I don't use any supporters usually in IS2. I've thought about doing a Horn start. I don't think that'd be terrible. Also, just doing a Soraya start and playing defensive literally wouldn't be bad. Support squad's just, I think, generally really powerful because if you have a strong versus shop, support squad means you win. Spirit squad, I think, is going to be a pain. Gathering and leader squad are just generally, like, they're okay squads. This one means especially, like, this one gives you some more leeway to have a weaker early squad. Because then you could be more specific about your early vouchers to save hope. Which results in you, like it's not a bad idea. This one lets you worry less about, like, safe houses and certain collectibles, but that's not usually an issue because you go through 6 floors. This one, like, again, when you go through 6 floors, you're gonna be at max command level anyways most of the time. So I feel like this just lets you take fewer fights, but let's try and do... I've been meaning to try this. Let's do a Soraya start. Because she is ultimately the only tank aside from the free ones that I usually use in IS2. And then hopefully we'll be able to get what we need. It is a little unlucky. Getting extra ingots at the start isn't bad, but I always like getting the 2 hope start. Because then you have 4 hope off the first fight and you can immediately get another 6-star unit. We'll have to see. There's a high chance, too, that we don't even get the encounters we need. I think we definitely go straight for the emergency ops. I've been finding that I don't even know if you can get the third ending or the fourth ending first encounter to spawn on the first floor, and I've found it's easiest to try and get the first encounter on the third floor and the second on the fourth. Let's see how this goes. We got this stage. This shouldn't be hard. But yeah, I think we've beaten the fourth ending with the 3 by far easiest squads to do it with. I'm not even gonna worry about protecting this treasure chest. I almost never do, to be honest. Granted, actually, that won't reach Cruz, I guess. So that should be fine. We'll have to see. I don't know. This early on, when this is your first stage, especially, I feel like the only threat to your ranged units, really, even though this one will come through and shoot like right here, the only real danger to them is going to be this wave right here. So what I might do is deploy lava right as they start to move. That way, even if she does go down, she's going to get a bunch of the AoE down. Never mind. Yeah, as always, we'll probably look for like Neural Alter. I mean, like, I just always try to think of the units I generally use. I use Rosa for the Phantom fight, Neural Alter for both fights on this ending. We'll want Telopsis probably, we already have Soraya. I mean, other win cons. So I have found that on the, I'm just thinking about the player at stage 2 endgame for what you're building towards. To kill the player in the upper right, that is not a good voucher. In the upper right, it feels like you need to have attack speed relics. I've never done it without it. So that's the problem with this squad, is I only use Soraya usually for this ending, or most of the endings. Sometimes I use Mudrock for like Big Sad Lock. And I don't use any supporters hardly ever. I could use Sculptor if I do go with a Mudrock strategy, but with the way the player at fight works, I don't know if Mudrock regenerates shields fast enough to not just get destroyed. This will be an interesting one too. Hopefully we don't take damage here. If we do, it's not the biggest of deals, but to be honest, there I was hoping for either a medic voucher because we had 4 hope, or a Vanguard voucher. But unfortunately, IS2 does not work with you a lot of the time. Let's see. I mean, the only real threat in this stage always is when these 2 units move, and then you sometimes get overwhelmed with the other wolves. If that happens, we'll just deploy lava. I could have maybe put Soraya Spacer 2. I just fall into habit really bad on stages like this. But I don't think she'll get healed there, yeah. So if I'd put her here, she'd be healed. I don't think enough to keep her alive because this thing kills her in 3 shots, but yeah, we might leak some enemies here because of my poor positioning. That's awkward. I don't think Soraya is in any danger of dying to this thing, though. If she does, we might actually just die. But yeah, like here, one wolf's already going through. Ah! What I probably should have done in hindsight is put... Yeah, I didn't play that right. That's awkward. I should have put lava where I put Orchid. Or even put lava where I put Cruz. That hurts a little bit. Caster voucher, huh? Oh, Pith. Okay, that'll work. I was gonna say Caster's another... For me, a really dead tag is definitely Supporter in IS2. With my account, honestly, Caster isn't that good. If we'd done the Caster Specialist Squad, the Passenger start I was talking about, we would have won right here. I have tried like 6 or 7 times with that squad to get the playwright ending, and I have not seen Hand of Diffusion once. This article plus passenger usually means you just win. That's really upsetting. That's generally helpful. That's not. It's always nice to have more options, but the likelihood of me having enough guard vouchers with any squad other than instant promote guards is pretty low. That's not super high value. It's greedy to not buy like immediate power with your first shot, but can't say I'm super impressed with anything here. We're gonna take 2 combat ops here as well. Hey! We're getting helped along for a poor play. Get this stage again, okay. So we already have good squad size. We'll get a few more with just progressing in command XP. So we need deployment limit. Oh. And to be honest, this doesn't feel like a great start because we only have 1 melee unit still. I'm considering... I always try to at least get to the 3rd floor before I like mulligan a run. That way we still get the little bonus at the start. It's like I was saying, just starting out with an extra 2 hope means you can immediately recruit a 6-star operator if you get a good voucher. But I don't know if that'll happen. Because this stage is well, we might actually leak with what we have. Do this. And we'll probably put Pith over here to start whittling down these things. These things are just obnoxious because they lower the defense of what they're attacking, I believe it is. But they can only be damaged by what's blocking them. So luckily, I mean, an E2 Soraya seems to have it handled, but... just do this. I've always debated which way to do this because they'll consider the enemies on this bottom path further along. So if I wanted them to just focus this enemy, I'd put him to the left. But I'm not generally the opinion that it's important enough to just solely dedicate it towards that. But I'm 100% certain before IS3 we won't, at least on stream, finish the player ending with every single squad. But literally that and unlocking the one other artifact, which is just dependent on emergency op luck, is all I have left to do in IS2 really. I mean, I could go back and try and beat everything on the hardest difficulty, but I'm one of those people that's of the opinion of if you can unlock everything on the medium difficulty, I'm not going to suffer and do it on the hardest. I do runs on the hardest difficulty all the time. We're not getting good voucher luck. I'm actually considering just doing... I don't know, a Ling Guy's 2 run sounds like a terrible idea if we don't get high deployment limit. I do enjoy just doing solo Ling runs on a lot of stages. This is tough. We have, like, it's weird because it's, I guess it's not terrible voucher luck when you consider what squad we're using, but... Exalter. Suzerain wouldn't have been a bad choice either, but... And we should level up, I think, with the next one. This stage isn't hard. I'm getting concerned, though, because... And maybe we should have taken Ling because we don't have any other melee operators. After, like, what is that? 3 vouchers? And the other voucher in the shop was another caster op as well. Like, voucher luck in IS2 can just break you sometimes. It's why those vouchers like the one we saw in the shop for guards are helpful. Because the ability to kind of negate a little bit of RNG is nice. We should just do this, actually. Why is she attacking? What? Oh, okay, for a sec. This isn't looking good. I will probably just finish this fight, go to the 3rd floor, and mulligan the run. It's definitely largely in part to my poor play. But this run just also looks kind of doomed. I'm of the opinion, though, that you can make every IS2 run work, but we are just trying to beat the playwright. So I wanted to give it a few attempts now that we've finished up the Dorothy event stages. Deploy Pith, maybe here. 13 enemies left, 3 lives. Not too bad. Literally, unless we get Chalice, I guess. on this last collectible stage, because it's just difficult for me to think. Like, I do wonder if I shouldn't have done like a Horn start, because Horn does way more damage than Soraya does, but then we would have lacked in sustain. And without any healing, it's really hard to use Horn S3, because she destroys her own health. But, oh, we don't even level up with this. That's awkward. Medic Voucher would have been okay. But again, you have to consider, like, outside of using Ling summons, that's one melee operator out of 8 to 7 vouchers. That's actually really, really bad luck. And that's a big part of why we're leaking lives. That's a really good... I'm gonna stick with my gut. That is a really good artifact, though, for these runs. The amount of starting power you can get on some of these is insane. Why does it say there's something new here? Did I pick something up I hadn't seen before? I don't know. Oh, I'm actually really sad that we saw Hand of Diffusion. It's tough because I know if I do Passenger start now, I'm not going to see Hand of Diffusion. But seriously, that artifact is insane on Passenger. Because it every individual strike on his S3 counts as a hit. So Hand of Diffusion, basically, if every single bolt from his S3 hits, he just gets it back. It's insane. It's like one of the most fun IS2 combos I've ever seen. We could try something else like... It's just difficult because I feel like the benefits you get from some of these other squads just aren't as helpful. Just full on. Like Research Squad, there's literally a collectible that does that. 2 life points you can get real easily. It's tough. First Class Squad 2 is like... It can be good. Generally, I've found that the Elite Voucher gives you... like, there's a small pool of operators that you'll usually get from the Elite Voucher. So it's tough to say which one you'll get, because if we get, like, a fully promoted Myrtle, yeah, it'd be good. But I'm gonna go with my gut here. We did not get the 2 Hope again. I will say with the Specialist Squad, it's at least nice for an immediate upgrade Project Red. I often will pivot and use Spalter as well when I'm doing this squad. But let's just start with a random Passenger. That'll work. And as usual, we'll take Cruz and Cardigan. Back in the day when I was first unlocking things, I used to really love doing the 3 random voucher start as well. That is a terrible idea sometimes. Because I have straight up started with like unwinnable squads. Let's see. This early on, usually, one problem with doing this particular start is you usually want to deploy at least 1 melee unit after your ranged unit so they don't just get demolished. But there's not that much range threat on this stage. What do you remember? I can't remember if they ever did actually give a buff to Passenger. Because I know he's not considered super powerful. But he's still really good. Like, he's another unit. Like, I talk about not having great caster presence. I do at least have Golden Glow, I have Dusk, I don't have Passenger, and I don't have Aya. Who I think are arguably the 2 strongest casters in the game right now. I mean, supporters as well weak for me because I have Ling with Module. But for me, it just feels like if you're going to devote a run to using Ling, you need to devote most of the run's resources to using Ling. Like, there's a reason why she's used for solo run. She's powerful, but she's also not a unit that I usually just find myself throwing into random team comps. And now that I think about it, we can use Dorothy too. We have some specialist options. It'll take some adjustment from the strategy I usually use, but I'm curious how we could make that work. Because the playwright does move a very long distance once he's past that upper right corner. So we could maybe use Dorothy's traps there. But I do not know. It will all depend on voucher luck. Because I would prioritize Spalter and Red with this squad over her. Getting a guard voucher when we didn't get the early start is a little bit disappointing. I mean, literally top priority. Other good ones though, I mean, all 4 of these units in this row I think are really good for IS-2. All 3 of these aren't bad, but they aren't as high a priority. Blaze isn't bad either. I wouldn't use Helliger though. I guess we could just grab Lapland here. It's a bit of a waste of early hope, but Lapland's a pretty solid unit. Definitely go for the greedy emergency op. I figure if we die, we die, you know. I'm a little concerned because we don't have healing, but it'll probably be okay. Potential problem here is, I think if I remember correctly on the timing for here, we should have enough DP to drop Passenger before this guy moves, but it's not by much. And so I don't know if we'll have enough charges on his skill to just instantly burst that thing down. But this is also part of the reason why, you know, even though Spot, I know people really favor Spot in IS-2. Even though Spot can heal other units, Cardigan's skill only costs like 16 or 18 SP. So she's able to heal herself more often. The problem is too, he's gonna... Yeah, I forgot about that. He targets the enemy with the highest health. So we might be in a bit of a pickle. As long as Lappy doesn't go down, I think we're okay. Yeah, that kind of hurt. Oh, I already forgot about that. I've had this issue in the past, actually. You just need to make sure... It's not really avoidable with where I put him here. But... if we can wait until... Huh. This could be bad, actually. I was about to say if we could wait until there were no dogs in the upper corner. I don't think that's going to be the case. Although, wait. Okay, Lapland probably dies, but... I think we're okay. Oh, it's okay, we get a temporary life point. That was cutting a little bit close, though. I could have maybe slowed it down to 1 times and just dropped Cardigan last second, but if you're only leaking 1 life, it's not really an issue in this mode. And speaking of, I guess we'll take Spot. Okay. I'll take it. Well, hope is no longer an issue in this run. Hopefully we get the encounters we need. Because we just immediately got 12 hope. This is what I talk about, the first shot making or breaking you, though. That is an insane start. As long as we don't die in like the next fight or two, we have a lot of resources available to us. What I'll probably do is do like, I'd like to do, doesn't matter which fight we do here, but this and this. Downtime wreck just never feels worth it to me. And I'm not concerned about, like I said, about finding that encounter on the 2nd floor usually. This would probably be easier with our current squad. Yeah, I generally think this is an easier stage. It depends on which version of the other one you get, actually, to be fair. Oh, Lappy. Use this, actually. And I will say one thing about Lapland is, even though it's not the most important niche, her having a silence is pretty helpful in certain IS-2 stages. Like the drones that drop nervous impairment, she actually, if she hits them and silences them, they don't drop them. Which there are some stages that just dump those on you. It's kind of crazy, actually. But I probably won't deploy Spot for... Actually, it's probably fine. I was about to say, just to keep everything in range, but... Never mind, I'm just dumb. Yeah, ideally we would see a medic voucher somewhat soon. Like you see, his skill does a respectable amount of damage and slows. If we had handed a fusion, man, I'm so sad because I only see that relic when I'm not using Passenger. But using that skill, every bolt that hits, he can just do it again immediately. But again, thinking about what we need Neural Alter. We need Myrtle, probably. Soraya would be nice. I don't think she's necessary. I like using Telopsis. Telopsis is my favorite healer in the game. Specifically because I don't have Nightingale, but Telopsis is my favorite healer to use. But the problem with going for a specific Ice 2 ending is sometimes you get met. Stop giving me supporter vouchers. Please, game. It's greedy not to take anything when we have 18 hope, but yeah, this shouldn't be a problem either. But voucher luck can just mess with you so hard sometimes. The problem right now, I will say, is we don't have a whole lot of DP generation. Which isn't a problem at the moment, but it could become a problem very fast. Because Passenger costs a lot of DP. Like, he is not a cheap unit to use. Well, I was actually kind of happy to see the Snow Globe, even though we didn't continue last run. Snow Globe is pretty insane. I wanted to drop Passenger first, but I'd rather not leak lives. Could drop Orchid, but I don't think it's even necessary. Where I'd probably drop her is either next to Spot or up here, but then she's just gonna get peppered down by the snipers. Yeah, how much... I can never remember how much Spot's skill takes. But, again, the reason I favor Cardigan is even though Spot has, like, higher attack and can heal other units, he stops attacking and his skill takes a long time to come back. So the ability of Cardigan to just instantly heal herself for a decent amount makes her, I feel like, a slightly better tank, although less utility heavy and, like... But if I'm using a 3-star defender, it's probably just to tank early game damage. It'd be nice to see Ducklord or the Bear, too, get a free collectible. Yeah, I've also considered, instead of Passenger, doing a start with Aya. That might not be a bad idea either. And on that same line of thought, on the tank supporter strat, maybe the strat isn't even to start with a defender, maybe it's to start with a Friend's Gnosis. That's finally decently helpful. I talk about always just using, like, the units I want. I'm not doing third ending. I hate this ending the most. I will not use Siege and IS2. That's a terrible plan. Okay, so hope in this run will not be a problem. Like, at all. We just need good voucher luck, and we need to get our encounters. So what I'll usually do once we get here, it's not like we have the ingots to make this shot matter. I just try to maximize the amount of encounters I can get on the 3rd floor. So following this top path, we get 3. That just seems unnecessary. It's not impossible. I have done runs to the 4th ending where you get the first encounter, I think, on the 4th floor and the second on the 5th. It's difficult to make work. This is the one, see, we need this on an emergency op. But that's the one I was talking about needing. Yeah, Secret HR Letter plus Pure Gold Expedition plus the Banshee's Kiss is actually an excessive amount of hope, considering you get a decent amount from leveling up. I usually just knock this pillar over immediately. I don't even worry about this pillar. It's definitely not the efficient thing to do, but I just don't think it's usually necessary. The amount of DP Myrtle generates is also kind of stupid. So much. We'll definitely save Passenger skills for either these or these. Because of, when this enemy dies, it goes into like a stasis mode where it's a lot harder to kill, and then turns into a flying enemy. At which point, if that happens, you're probably going to leak an enemy. I also can't remember if I put Orchid here. I think certain enemies do clip and target her before this space. So we might not do that. But yeah, I can't say I'm super impressed with the units we have right now. They're not bad, but yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, I could have played Orchid here and had her knock this pillar onto this thing. That also wouldn't have been a bad idea. Probably not necessary, but this whole pillar mechanic I think is nice. I like what it brings to the table. I don't like the stages that they've included with it though. Becomes so... Oh, we got... Duck Lord or Bear Lord it looks like. I think at this point we could kill either one probably. If they ever spawn. There it is. Between Passenger and Orchid, I think we can slow this thing enough that it will take enough damage. I don't know, because they kind of scale in HP and tankiness with what stage you're on. I don't know 100% if Passengers... No, I think we've got it. Yeah, I was gonna say, because like on the first stage, I think an E2 Passenger skill, one of them one-shots the duck. Interesting. So much hope. We just need good vouchers, game. Like, those are not good vouchers. I guess we'll just take Golden Glow. Alright, let's go for the double encounter. We do need the stage. Okay, this is just getting ridiculous. Yeah, you know, hope upon entering the non-combat mode. We didn't get the encounter, which is concerning. That's upsetting. This happens every time I have a really good run. Because when I'm doing runs off stream to the 4th ending, I actually do, if I get to the end of the 3rd floor and I don't have my encounters, I do just restart. But we'll go to the end of the 4th floor. I don't think you can get both encounters in one floor. But this is a powerful enough, well, potentially powerful enough run, that I would really rather not give up on it. And Lapland's actually really good for this stage. These things don't explode if you hit them. Because of the silence. I will say it's a little bit concerning that we don't have a medic too. Just drop like spot up here to tank the bombs. I don't want to deploy Passenger and Golden Glow too soon, because if they hit these bugs and kill them before Lapland hits them, it's gonna hurt. And it's gonna hurt a lot. Granted, what I can do is deploy Orchid, because there's only 3 range spots anyways. Not like it's a huge deal. I'm also not worried about Spot surviving, but like you can see, he provides a lot of healing. And it can heal the units in the adjacent tiles, but... Oh, does he attack? I thought he didn't attack during his skill. His skill does take like twice as much SP as Cardigans, though I was right on that. But we are going to wait until these move. Because they hurt a lot when they explode. Yeah, this stage should be fine. I can just spot out too. He's kind of delaying enemies, but I don't think that's necessary at this point. Actually, once these go down, I'll start taking these out. Golden Glow too, like, when she gets some attack speed, this thing just shreds enemies, it's insane. I've been having fun in the, I can't remember what it's called, but the new mode where you, like, they added the new mode to get the module upgrade materials. And when you replace a unit, it leaves behind a buff. So you can, like, deploy, say, Orchid on top of Golden Glow, and then the caster buff is, I think it gives, I want to say, extra SP regeneration. So you can just end up with some really funny things. Like, you'll replace vanguards and defenders, and you'll end up with a mud rock that just like instantly gets their ability and can block like 7 enemies. Super funny. I don't know if it's the most efficient thing to do, but it is funny. So here my options are Spalter or Project Red, but probably Spalter with how much hope we have, or Rosa. I'm gonna go with Spalter for now. I didn't check what 3rd floor boss we have. If this is the... Okay, we're good. I was gonna say if it's the Golem, I'm gonna regret that, but it is not. I hate going to 3rd floor boss without a medic. I do think this is probably the easiest one to do without a medic though, so could be worse. I know if you drop in... Trying to decide how I want to do this stage. If you drop a Neural right here immediately with S3 up, she'll just kill this thing. But not a huge option available to me because I don't have her. Looks like she's either gonna kill it though or bring it very, very low. Probably just gonna bring it low, that's fine. Did just enough damage to bring her down, that's obnoxious. The problem is too, Golden Glow just has normal enemy targeting, she'll target the closest enemy to the end. Pretty sure that targets anything in this line first, but I could be wrong. Like, it'll hit that first. Oh! Never mind, I was wrong. Even after the sheer amount of hours I put in this game mode, I constantly find things like that. Because I know on the stage where it has 3 branches, and they come down to this one ending over here, it's one of the starter stages, the center path will almost always draw aggro no matter what for some reason. But, there's not really any danger to this boss. This boss, I think, is the easiest one to do. Jetman's annoying just because you have to time things correctly and there's a lot of drones. The puppet is my least favorite. And then the Frost Twins are also really obnoxious. Because no matter how much healing you have, if the Frost Twins freeze something, they're probably killing it. Anyway, we really need no more caster vouchers. Maybe one more specialist. We need guard vouchers, we need a medic voucher. Like, I need the game to work with me, and I need to give me my encounters, otherwise we're gonna have to restart anyways, because we can't reach the ending we want. That's helpful. Look for this first. Not an instrument. So, and I did actually raise Glaudia as well. I think Glaudia's actually a really good unit. Absolutely neural the Radiant Knight. We still don't have a medic, but probably just go for that. So, either way we get an emergency off. There's only one encounter. So if this encounter isn't the 4th ending, we're just going to restart. That's unfortunate. That was a really good, like, high potential run. It's not often that you have that much hope. But I don't need any other unlocks. Like, I just am trying to get the extra badges for beating the stage. You know what, let's mix it up. These two I do still think will probably be the easiest of what I have left to beat it with. Spirit Squad just seems like a bad idea for me. Fine. Let's see what First Class Squad gives us. We still haven't gotten 2 hope, that's surprising. As for this start, we'll just do a Neural Altar start probably. We got a free caster, that's not what I was looking for. I think the most useful starts for the free elite one off this squad are a medic, because most of the medics are usually helpful, or a vanguard one if you get Myrtle. I think there's another option. Orchid Slow isn't too bad though. Ansel's a good early game medic. We got Indigo. That is almost worst case scenario. You have to consider that singular operator right there is our entire squad bonus. And it gave us not a good option. That's fine. Ultimately, if IS2 plays nice with you and gives you a really good run, you can win no matter what. If it doesn't, though, it doesn't go well. But as always, I think it's always important in these runs to try and get to at least the 3rd floor, because that's what allows you to get that starting bonus. And it does make things a lot easier. Yeah, Mystic Casters is just... Even Ebenholz is just not the greatest of units, and he's a 6-star. I like the idea of storing up 3 attacks and then just releasing them in a burst when you're not attacking. The problem is, like there, she used a 2-charge burst on a slug. You know? Can't say I think that's that helpful. I'm going to wait to deploy Orchid until these guys pass by, because I'm pretty sure even through Ansel's healing, they can just kill her. But Orchid isn't a bad unit per se. The extra slow is nice. I do know Spirit Squad. Spirit Squad's a little bit better when you're doing the hardest difficulty of IS2. Just because most of the time, if you're going to leak enemies in the hardest difficulty, you're probably dead anyways. But on the normal difficulty, I feel like I make really stupid mistakes that cause me to lose like 1 life point, and then I just die. But here we're hoping for Medic Voucher, Defender Voucher, I'd say. Maybe Vanguard. Vanguard wouldn't be bad too. That's 3 options out of 8 game. I'm giving you the opportunity to be nice. Thank you. I was gonna say, I'm giving the game the opportunity to be nice to me. If you're only looking for 1 voucher out of 8 possibilities, it's not gonna give it to you, but... Here we go. Do I want res? Yeah. Helpful. Which one is this? This should be doable because we have a medic. The irritating part about this particular stage on emergency op is it turns all of those little enemies that drop here, the airdrop enemies, into ranged enemies. But we have a medic, we have Neural Alter, I think we'll be okay. We'll just drop Myrtle in front of Neural once her skill's up. Or once we need the extra block, I suppose. Which we need now. Have Myrtle hold this enemy. Alright. Should be fine. I think Neural Alter's S1 is a little bit underrated. I know our S2 is really good for dueling, especially in like when you're in a situation where you don't have high deployment limit. But S1, like S3 still gives her the range for sure, but S1's permanent. Wow, they nuked Orchid a lot faster than I thought she would have. Let's see. Yeah, I will say this version of the emergency op is a little bit obnoxious early on if you don't have a medic. Just because they'll just spawn there and pepper your melee units. Friendly range units, 25 attack. That's not terrible. We'll probably just upgrade Myrtle here. We should level up on next fight for more hope anyways. We got... Okay, I'll take that. 50 attack speed on medics is crazy good. I'm debating what I want to do. What I think we do is we grab this and we withdraw for a medic. I don't want to destroy the balance in my investment system. I highly doubt it carries over to IS3, but I try not to take too much because we still don't even know if we're going to get the encounters we need. But this would be insanely good. Like really, really good. But I always like starting with Extra Hope. Pure Gold Expedition is just a really solid first shop. Like, not crazy busted. But extra squad limit, extra deployment limit. Solid investment. Doesn't really matter which path we take. With double healer, this is probably easier. Because we only have effectively 2 block right now. Which isn't exactly the greatest. Okay, we got this version. Wouldn't be too much of a problem. It is a bit awkward deploying Neural S1 here. Just because she's not going to make use of that extra range, but not a big deal. I mean, the only real threats in this stage is this guy, and then when these two move at the same time, but we have 2 medics, so. You can see, I mean, even just for a 4-star unpromoted unit, when she has those 3 charges up, she just blasts an enemy. It's just, you can't control who she uses it on. Using it on these mob enemies that Neural would have, like, instantly killed anyways isn't that helpful. But I'm hesitant to put down Myrtle too, just because of the positioning here. Is this the stealth version? It is not. Okay, in that case. I mean, I spawned Myrtle on the death, but it was just to do a little bit more damage there. Not too bad. This stage is not usually a problem unless it's an emergency op or you have, like, no block, and that axe wielder just tears apart your units. What would I like here? Not that. This game is not working with me. You know what? It's only 1 hope though. We'll just promote Indigo. We probably won't use her later, but the E2 promotion also gives her access to her module, which I have no idea what it does. But it gives us access to the module. I don't know why though, this session, it's across like 3 runs now. The game really loves to not give us our encounters. But it's also really liking to give us caster vouchers, and I have no idea why. So we do need Myrtle here. Don't think we need a medic just yet. We might leak a few enemies here because of our lack of block. That's fine. Well. Nope. Leaking 1. If it's just 1, as always, we get a temporary life point, so. Not a big deal. The problem with using Myrtle's skill to generate 2 when you're relying on her for block is even if she's only 1 block, when she's using her skill as a flag bearer, she's not blocking anything. And now we don't need to use her skill unless it's for healing, which is also unnecessary. Because we don't need DP generation when we have all our units out. Again, what else would we need? Sniper voucher would be nice. 1 defender voucher would be good. In IS2, as many guard vouchers as I can get, I'll probably take, to be honest. The issue is with some of my guards, is like, there's guards like Thorn and Surtur that they're not that helpful if they're not promoted. So, we'll see. Okay, well, I'll take that though. 3 ingots, not that helpful. We'll just see what the other one is. 1 life point, still not bad. Take the promotion. And then I wouldn't mind getting the encounter here. We didn't. It's fine. Duration of single type instance, that's not terrible. It's not that helpful for me. Alright, so what path do we go? If this first one isn't the encounter we need, we're gonna have to go top path, which is unfortunate because I'd love a boon. And it's not. That's annoying. Same as last time, we'll probably go to the end of the 3rd floor, and if we don't get our encounter, we haven't even seen it, which is strange. but the encounter for the 4th ending, there's not a huge point in continuing the run. Another thing that is concerning is that we only have 2 units, so we can't do our cheese. The cheese that I usually do on this stage is if you put a melee unit on W when she's right here, it actually pushes her forward. Don't know if that's where I want it, but I don't think we've had, like, we could have been less greedy and just taken another guard. It wouldn't have been bad to just pick up, like, an Irene here so we had a 3rd melee unit. But I did decide to be greedy. Uh-oh. I forgot that would happen, if I'm being honest. I'm really hoping W doesn't one-shot this entire line. We have more than enough life points that losing some here wouldn't be a big deal. But it would be annoying. But you can see, I mean, promoting Indigo didn't seem to be the worst investment ever, I suppose. She's not one-shotting these guys, but she's chunking them really hard. But here's where the issue I have. I could have put Neuro here, and that might have gone better too. Please don't one-shot one of my units. Now the issue is when Neuro's skill times out and she's not able to hit. Uh-oh. I should have used this earlier, actually. That... Ugh. Oh my goodness. We might leak W. That's fine. I don't think she does 3 damage. Pretty sure it's just 1. I also don't think we have time to get these units back, but we know she's the last unit, so it doesn't hurt to try and see. Because I think she goes the entire length. Yeah, we won't have enough time, I don't think. It's so much damage. It's why it's helpful, though, like, to have, like, I usually do it with Project Red. You nudge her right here, and then your entire units get a second to just blitz her. She does 2 damage. That's interesting. This is a net loss of 1 life. That's not a big deal. Please give me a good voucher, though, game. If you give me another caster voucher, I'm gonna cry. Okay. So we do need a couple sniper vouchers. Namely Rosa. I'm taking another melee unit. As to which one that is, Thorns is... These 3 are what I'm thinking right now. None of them would be bad. Thorns is very, very reliant on me getting another voucher is the issue. He's a super self-sufficient unit, but I never know if the game's going to give me another opportunity. We'll go for it. Greedy, but... Beast fighting? With what we have, beast fighting is a terrible idea. Because we're guaranteed to lose, I think, at least a few lives. But we need the double encounter. We're gonna have to sack some lives here. That's also unfortunate. IS2, it's very rare that I feel like you just get a god run. Usually something happens that's unfortunate. I don't think an unpromoted Myrtle can... Oh. We do that, and this. Wait, is my Myrtle oh, she is promoted. That grouping there is the one I definitely prioritize, though. Go ahead and have Thorns take out one of these. Put a caster to back up Myrtle. I think we gotta drop Neural in the center here, and then hopefully we'll get at least 1 more round. Actually, I do have an idea. Don't know if it'll work. Ah, I should have waited then. That's unfortunate. It does mean we're gonna leak at least 1 life here. If not 2. I just got 3. I wasn't paying attention to the center. That's awkward. That's fine. Again, that should be the only lives we lose, I think. Unless I mess up. or miscalculated. So that's, again, 1 net lost life. We have a good chunk of life, like, not a huge issue. Oh, she just blasted that thing. It's not gonna make me think that Indigo's like a great unit, but she did blast that thing. Oh, we didn't get the big guy. Usually a big enemy comes through here on this stage. There's just slight variations on these IS2 stages too that I just can't for the life of me remember. Okay, what have you got? It's fine. Defender's fine. We'll take Soraya. Alright, we need the stage. That's not the stage, that's the second ending. Okay. This game does not want me to go to the 4th ending today. Worst comes to worst, we could just do an ending to like Phantom or something. I sometimes do that when we get really unlucky on stage / encounter RNG, but the problem is you get these pretty solid runs, and then when it finally decides to give you the encounters you need, it's just the most terrible run and you just get dumpstered. It's happened so many times. So I'm debating... Did she reach that yet? Okay. I might be indexing too hard in the bottom side here. Hopefully she can get rid of this twin before it hurts her. Looks like she can. Nice. Because aside from this twin, the only thing that comes through this bottom side actually is a bunch of these pairings of the one bug and the one swordsman. I just wanted the aggro off Soraya, so we sacrificed Orchid. We don't have a healer on Neural, but I don't think we can... This could be bad. I think what we do here actually is we drop this, and then she'll attack there. Never mind, that was probably a bad idea, because... Does the skill time out? I did not play this correctly. I feel like I could have played this in a different way and lost much less life. That's fine. I just have like usually pretty specific systems for how I like to go into some of these stages. Everything else spawns up here. And then the game kind of just throws me for a loop sometimes and I have no idea what to do. That being said, I think we're okay. Never actually seen that before. It took us so long to kill the first bug. I mean the second bug, that the first bug's freezing and worn off. That's kind of funny. Actually, yeah, it's not necessary. Yeah, and this is why I didn't want to do Spirit Squad. We would have had less life. And on Spirit Squad in the first few fights, if you lose, flawless. Yeah, let's go with that. Thank you, game. Alright, Mythic Sniper. We take Rosa. Now we're at a point where we have a good chunk of the units we would want if this run goes to the end, actually. But, again, encounter luck isn't being kind to us. We'll go... If we go top path here, we can get 2 encounters. Although, I really don't like banking on getting my encounters in the last 2. It's super obnoxious. So we haven't actually picked that up before. I'd seen it before, I just hadn't taken it because it's not the best for my squads. Just deciding what strategy I want. I'm kind of tempted to just do a guard squad and just decimate the force boss if I can get the encounters, because... Yeah, why not? This game's being mean to me on encounter luck. Let's just do a powerful run. And then we'll just take this run. If we don't get the 4th ending, we'll probably just beat Phantom this time. And then my next stream after this, because I have a couple of doctor's appointments and such for the rest of the week, and I have a couple meetings as well for some college stuff, we'll probably be either Saturday or Sunday, but this run will probably take like an hour. But I still think this is the most powerful squad. At least for my account. I mean, an account that doesn't have super powerful guards won't be as good. But, I mean, in all honesty, like, there's so many powerful guards in this game, it kind of blows the mind. The only problem with this start is that, without the Blazing Sundown, I only have one block on the field, but that's really not a huge issue when Neuro's gonna one-shot almost everything. In fact, I don't even think I need to click anything. I could use like Ansel's skill for more healing. On this stage though, the only ranged threat is these two Cannoneers. So, not an issue. Yeah, I did just a for fun run like this with this squad to the playwright, and I got Chalice and Chivalric Commandments, and so I ended up with like plus, I think it was like 120 something attack speed on every single unit, and I just decimated the playwright. It was actually really funny. Is there there is an emergency on. Alright, free collectible. Not bad. I still have, I don't think I've ever seen the fourth ending first. I've seen every, like I've seen the gain 1 hope, lose 1 hope encounter for Big Sad Lock on the first floor. And I've seen the Mantle of the Wrongly Condemned for the third ending on the first floor. I don't think I've ever seen the encounter, which makes sense given the type of fight it is. I don't think you would actually be able to win. Hopefully we don't leak any drones here. It was maybe a little greedy to deploy Neural Altar first, but I wanted to get her down immediately so that she would just burst down the duck, ideally on the first pass through. And this early on, like an S2 Neural, S2 Chalter, like not S2, E2, sorry, will just annihilate. Yeah. It's not a good time for the Duck Lord this early on to run into. Oh, Olga's attacking the wrong thing. It's fine. But I'll be honest, every now and then when the game just messes me over on RNG like this, and just doesn't give me the encounters or like the vouchers I need to do an unlock, I will sometimes just take this squad and I'll just decimate the game because it makes me feel better. But I've still been brainstorming ideas. Like I was saying, like, the caster specialist start. I think maybe I just need to give up on the idea of Handed Diffusion Passenger, because the game doesn't want to give it to me. And otherwise, it's not the best unit to start with. And then on the Defender Supporter, I have considered doing a Gnosis start. Just using a support Gnosis. Without like attack speed or something, I know it's a little bit difficult to do like a perma-free strategy like you could in that one event. But I still don't think it's the worst idea. They can early promote on Telopsis. Unfortunately, those encounter fights barely give you any command XP, which means you do get a voucher, but you don't actually get a whole lot of like work towards your next level for more hope. That said, we had the event set Kale's Mother Wolf, so everything on this floor moves at half speed, which on this particular encounter I don't actually think is a good thing all of the time, because there's so many ranged units like these guys and the big slugs that'll come through and just pepper your units. that it's annoying. I think with 2 healers though I can just set Orchid here and she probably won't die. Oh, we'll see. Yeah, we're fine. Because see, like ordinarily this thing would have moved long through. I mean with a unit here it would, but like it wouldn't be stopping to shoot as much. Which at some point is a bit of a liability. I could also just do this for the extra range. But I gotta say, like, putting aside favoritism on Texas and Siege aside, Neural the Radiant Knight is probably my favorite unit to play in the game right now. It's such a fun unit, she's so versatile. The only thing she can't do is hit ranged units. Or aerial units, I mean. But in the long scheme of things, not usually a big issue. But from what I've seen of the kit, I do think Texas Alter is going to be such a fun unit to play. I mean, she can solo boss stages, which is, like, it's a cinch for, like, units like Ling, sure. But, like, for an Executor to do that? I don't think Gravel or Phantom or Project Red can solo boss stages. Like, pretty crazy stuff. Maybe shouldn't have impulsively leveled Telopsis because we could have had Myrtle there, but I really can't say I think this is going to be an issue. Regenerate. SP regenerate on Telopsis is actually not usually a huge deal. I actually don't mind this one, but it is very easy to lose your snipers. What we'll probably do is we'll make this so we don't get caster ops, because we're not going to use any. And then extra attack on healers. And we're doing pretty solid. And because we're so strong, we're going to go hunting for the encounter. Which the game does not appear to want to give to me. There it is. Naturally. Naturally, when I'm like, I'm just going to do a for fun run, the game's like, oh, here you go. This game, man. That is such a... We tried, what is that, like 4 times? It was either 3 or 4 to get this encounter, and the game told us no. And then we just gave up and we're like, okay, we're just going to use a squad that we don't have any unlocks to do on, and we're just going to steamroll the game, and the game went, oh, here you go. That said, though, getting it on the 2nd floor versus the 3rd floor is sometimes, like I said, a little dangerous. Just because we don't have all the strength we have. Like, we have 2 units that can block right now. But... yeah, I don't think we'll die. If Fang's lane can't be held, I put Orchid and the stronger healer on her lane. If she starts to fall behind like this, because she can only block 2 units, we just drop Neuro skill. She'll help cover. It's very possible that we lose a life or 2 here, I just don't care. I really doubt that it'll be an issue. In fact, maybe we shouldn't have dropped Orchids to go there. She kind of slowed down the big boy there for a second. But here's where we'll probably leak a couple lives in Fang's lane. Like I said, it's fine. As long as Fang doesn't just die, that's where the problem will be. Yeah, leaked 2 enemies so far. This stage is a weird one though. It's why I do say I think it's best to get this one on the 3rd floor. Because I think it is much more manageable on the 3rd floor. When you've had a few more fights, a little bit more command XP. But sometimes the game decides not to give it to you for 3 runs and then gives it to you now. Just kind of the way IS2 functions. Hold off for a second and then drop it now. Because the sword drop does do a decent amount of AoE. Use it to help clear things that lane out. This guy's probably getting through, I'll be honest. Because Neural Alter skill is going to time out. And Fang probably can't stop him. Like I said, I'm really not concerned. As long as I don't die on this stage, it should be fine. That's 1 more enemy through. That's... okay. Yeah, definitely not a clean stage. We fought this very early with not a whole lot of resources. This guy might get through, this guy will not. Actually, we might be able to stall this thing for long enough that either Fang or Neural Alter skill comes back up. That's it though, I don't think you can even get the second encounter until like the 4th floor. Again, I might just be completely false, it's just based on what I've seen. I've never gotten, even if when I've gotten this encounter on the 2nd floor, I've never gotten the other one on the 3rd. Another medic voucher. We don't need it, we're just gonna take a free medic. It's nice of the game to do, but sometimes the game just doesn't give you medic vouchers. Here it's deciding it's gonna give us only medic vouchers. We have 3 medics, including one of them that's been upgraded again. But I will take it over getting none. Because that happens all the time. And it kills runs. I'm gonna wait to deploy Neural until either this enemy gets here or we can drop a medic. Is this caster? I want to drop her here and Fang here. Doesn't do actually a whole lot of damage, but it is obnoxious. This is also where multi-target medics like Orchid shine. It's fine if this thing hits a big AoE because she's just gonna heal everyone. I don't know if we level up off this fight. It would be nice, but I'm thinking about how much command XP we have. I can't remember exactly, but we need a little bit more hope. It's ironic too that we had so many runs with the other squads where we had a ridiculous amount of hope. We'd recruited whoever we wanted, but we were getting bad voucher luck and we didn't get the encounter we needed. And then here we're just like messing around and we just have an absurd amount of hope. Let's actually hold skill here. Crown Slayer is... I just feel bad for Crown Slayer. Like, it's just the most memed on boss in this game. Might as well pop this actually. Remember I literally saw a video once that was like this many ways to kill Crown Slayer, and it was just the number of like slingshotting or like just stupid ways to just mess with this boss. It's why I'm genuinely 100% certain it plays a big part in why all the later bosses in Arknights have high weight and can't be shifted like that. Oh, we do level up, nice. Hey, we got commandments, nice. Not a whole lot of attack speed now, but it means whenever you get an attack speed relic, whether it be, maybe not with coin operated toy, you do still get a lot of value out of shops, don't get me wrong. But when it's the +5 or +7 ones, I usually just avoid shops. You'll still get forced into one at the end, but I feel like there's not even one on this floor. It's just more worth it to get a bunch of ingots. I say as I'm considering. Okay, so right now we're getting no value out of this attack speed relic. That was arguably not worth it, but I did it anyways. But yeah, for every 5 ingots we have, we get a ton. I'd even consider pulling some ingots out at a shop. We're at the beginning of the 3rd floor, so we're obviously not going to get a crazy amount of value out of that, but it's still very nice to have. Like, I will never say no to an attack speed relic. That being said, I didn't check what 3rd floor boss we have. I really don't think it matters with this squad. I'm thinking about just dropping. So ordinarily don't want to pin like Neural Alter in here like this because she does true damage to whatever her sword drops on. But I'm thinking about just putting Soraya here anyways, to be honest. I might. We have so many medics. Because the thing is, if I just do... We're not going to try and protect this chest. We don't really have a squad that's equipped to protect this one. You have to stop. It's only this puppet here. But we don't really have a squad equipped to defend against it. We'll see. I also might just hold Soraya on bench until I decide if I'm going to drop her. That might be the play. And I don't know if the Nervous Impairment drop one-shots these guys. I'm pretty sure it one-shots Orchid, which is why I put in Hibiscus afterwards. But I could not tell you. Because I don't know. Do one shot Hibiscus. But Orchid is significantly easier to kill than Hibiscus is. Nice thing is too, the sword counts as a unit, so it just starts eating the nervous impairment. And here's what we do, I think. We just wait until it steps forward, and we drop Soraya on its head so that Neural still attacks it. Like this. I don't know if that's like an intended mechanic with this game, but it's definitely something I do all the time. Just dropping a unit right on top of it so that units with less range can still attack, or so that you can just drop something like right like that. I mean, it's funny that it works, but... Sniper Specialist, we have... not that much of either, to be honest. This is where I should have checked what encounter we have. I'm gonna grab red here. But if the final boss of this stage is Jetman, I'm gonna regret it. Alright, well maybe I shouldn't speak things into existence. That's actually really bad. That is not good. We'll figure something out. Even if figure something out means we leak all the drones to Jetman. Ah, it's this version. So this version's obnoxious because I would like to drop Neural here. If I drop Neural here, she activates this guy. Don't even think we need to really worry about dropping Orchid. What we probably do is once we get maybe one more proc out of Fang's skill, we switch Fang out for Soraya. And we can actually do the Project Red cheese that I was talking about. Ideally, I would hold. I'd like to put Orchid here once W dies. I think we can out-heal these guys, so I don't think we need to pop her skill until W comes through. Which we can. I don't know if we can out-heal too, but... eh. So when she's here, we do this. And that nudges her just enough that, she won't attack her immediately, but it nudges her just enough that she'll still get attacked, which is definitely one of those things that I just don't know if it was intended, but it works really well. Oh, and we protected a chest here. Every ingot counts when you have, well, technically every 5 ingots count with an attack speed relic, but you get what I mean. I will say, though, the player is a tough enough boss that we still might lose. It is very much a possibility. Oh, do we have... I don't know if we can kill the Duck Lord. This is such an awkward stage for Neural because of the way it works. Yeah, we couldn't get him. I guess I could have immediately recalled Project Red, but she doesn't do enough damage to take him out there. That's annoying. There are some stages that it's super easy to deal with the Bear Lord or Duck Lord. That is not one of them. Unless you hold in a different spot than where I was holding. But with the way that stage is kind of designed, it's difficult to hold anywhere else. Alright, stop giving me those. We'll just take... I think we have one more fight to potentially get another voucher. Suzerain wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm so tempted to be greedy. If I get a sniper voucher in the next fight, I'm gonna regret that, but... it is what it is. Promotion voucher, hope, huh? Oh, that's actually tough. Any three of the three there would have been decent promotions. Once again, we got this one, but not the version we need for the achievement. That's fine. Even, to be honest, even just a sniper voucher with Cruise, that would be helpful right now. Potentially evolving Suzerain would have been good, because we wouldn't use our S3 for the Jetman fight. But it still could have been good for the purpose of giving her extra stats. Hmm. Yeah, Suzerain to me always felt like a weird unit, because when she's using S3, it feels like her role is still similar. Like, S3 is a very different skill than her other skills, insofar as like what it does and what its purpose is. I could be a little bit more greedy with we'll just use that now. We do want to make sure it's back up for this enemy, but I don't think this enemy moves until later. If I'm wrong though, gonna be awkward. That's awkward. We'll figure something out, I suppose. Because when it's in its like hibernation form, if you don't kill it, it's gonna come back and it's probably gonna leak. Oh, we might be okay though. Yeah, we're fine. Turns out Neural Alter and an upgraded Project Red are... Well, no, we upgraded, sorry. Neural Alter, though, in general, is just very powerful. Yeah, you did a great job, Suzerain. Okay, well, we didn't get it anyways. We'll just take Midnight. Alright, Theft from Above. What do we want to take? I don't think we need another healer with what we have. Let's grab Midnight. We have a surprise. We have nothing to influence squad space or deployment space. Like, we could still lose to the playwright. I just wanted to do a run where we actually saw the playwright because the game wasn't being nice to us in RNG. Alright, so what we do here is we deploy Neural Alter here. We'll go ahead and deploy Fang for some DP. Hopefully we get enough to make it worth it. Deploy Suzerain here. She does need to charge up her skill before she starts doing decent range damage. We have such high deployment space too. We can deploy 2 more units than we have in our squad. And honestly, usually, you kind of want a higher squad space than the deployment rate, because you're not going to have everything deployed most of the time. There's Jetman. Jetman usually doesn't leak. It's what I hate about Jetman squad isn't even Jetman, it's all the drones that spawn. Ironically. But usually what I do here, drop this here. He'll use his hop over Project Red. And now Neuro just eats him alive. And even if he makes it past her, like if he jumps again, he goes around like 3 times. Like, what's he gonna do, escape? Please stop that drone, Orc. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Cruise would have been nice, to be honest, but eh. Because we took a Midnight that we're not even using. Yeah, IS2 has definitely made me appreciate lower rarity operators. Like, Orchid is nice, but like this drone's gonna leak. Probably. Dang it. If we had a... Yeah, we're gonna lose some lives here. I hope we don't die. Actually. Please attack the right drone. That drone is 1 health. Are you kidding me? We might actually die. Uh-oh. Jetman, when you have gotten no sniper vouchers, is upsettingly rough. I don't think these are the last 2 drones either. Because like I said, I don't even think Jetman's that much of an issue. It's the drones he summons. Oh, and Orchid. I hate you, Orchid. Because she slowed the other drone, she switched targets, and then she would have let 1 through, and she let both through because of the way she switched. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, but we'll try again. Alright, here we go. I talk about wanting to do a quick good run though and just bust through the game, and then the game just... That's sad. What we can do though to actually make sure that doesn't happen again is we can just do a Thorn start. In fact, I don't really see a reason why, if we're going to do a Thorn start, why I wouldn't just try to find a stronger Thorns than mine. 70. Surely we can find a 90. I had one in my friends list at one point, but I think they changed their support lineup. That'll work. We'll take it. But if I had Thorns instead of Neural Alter, to be honest, it also would have been much better. I just... It's strange, because, like, it's terrible to get to the 3rd floor boss with no medics, but we got, like, 5 or 6 medic voucher options, which is also not good. We still haven't gotten +2 hope, though. Like, Tikaro's better than nothing, but that drives me insane, because I love getting a starting, 6 cost, and we can't do that when the game gives us the RNG that we've had. When we start with Thorns on a stage like this, I actually don't like to start deploying Orchid until I absolutely have to, because you need to give Thorns as many attacks as you can for Destreza. And I think if you don't time his skill correctly on this stage, you can actually leak enemies, if this is your first one, which is annoying. Yeah, I think you actually used Destreza immediately. I maybe didn't even need to deploy Orchid there, because Destreza here allows him to hopefully defeat that enemy and then time out and charge up again before this guy moves. I don't actually think that's the case, but oh yeah. He'll also get a bunch of attacks off this guy, so we'll see. But this is where we potentially leak a couple enemies depending on how things pan out. Yeah, we're gonna leak at least a few. This is not going well. That's fine. Once again, 1 net life, lost life. This stage is a weird one. Sometimes with Thorn start, like, it's just interesting too with roguelikes like this, because you get certain starts, you get certain characters, like, and that can affect things in a certain way. Cool stuff, I actually think, but it is annoying when it happens. No 1st floor emergency op is a little bit sad. We got an extra hope. That would have been nice a little bit ago. Go for a dispatch letter. I mean, if we're lucky, which we weren't. I was about to say we could go for Project Red there. We'll just grab Lapland. Why not? I like Lapland. Hey, there's an attack speed relic. It's the worst of the 3, but it's something. Yeah, that's that one. We have a Fang, not a very good first shot, but we actually have a pretty solid starting squad here. Not the best, but far from the worst. Ducklord, okay. Ducklord with Thorns is... I'm not 100% certain we can actually kill him, unfortunately. I think that was the Make Texas the leader line she has. Hopefully, if I do this, he's gonna get stunned by this guy. But I'm hoping he can build up enough attacks, never mind, for Destreza. Luckily we have 2 Lords, so it's not like the drones are gonna get through. Yeah, I'm not actually sure that we can stop the Duck Lord here. That is really irritating. Like, this stage, killing the Duck Lord immediately is super easy if you have Neural Alter. Looks like we can still get it though, nice. Because she just drops the sword. I mean, we did it last run. You just drop the sword on its head and it just dies. And that is the one reason why I like starting with Neural Alter over Thorns. Thorns is definitely a more versatile unit, and he has like self-sustain in his kit and he can hit aerial enemies, but it takes him so long to ramp up to permanent Destreza, it's annoying. You can get relics, collectibles that definitely help with that, but it is still annoying. Defender Operators, that is the Soraya relic. She just pumps out DP when, or SP, which gives her a ton of healing when she has that. We'll see though. I was only planning on doing one more run and then we lost the Jetman, so what we'll probably do is if we don't get the encounters, we're just gonna go beat up on Lucian. That's always a fun pastime. Actually, let's hold off for just a second. I go, Sam. Let Thorns build up Destreza. In fact, yeah. It's weird because like you don't want to deploy just a ton of units while Thorns is still building up his skill. But if you don't deploy enough, you're in a bad spot. That being said, it is like the only part about Thorns that I think is any or like difficulty. Just making sure, because you have to time out his first skill and then use it again to get the permanent effect. But once the permanent effect's out, you literally just watch Thorns kill everything. And it's really funny. There's no reason not to do this too. Good old reserve operators. They're just there hanging out. I do wonder if eventually going to add reserve operators for the other classes that aren't one. It's like there isn't a reserve specialist. I don't believe there's a reserve guard or a reserve supporter because supporter gives you caster. Like doing stuff. We are lacking in hope. I don't mind taking. Oh, never mind. Storm Eye is a higher equivalent of Cruise. Destitute Knights will be better with our squad. The reserve operators, they're hit or miss. Like the caster version Pith, I don't think is super good. Sharp is okay. It just really depends. But this one is pretty good. Because you consider how often like Exia and IS2 I consider a luxury. Because most of the time I'm going to be using Bruce. Because I prioritize having Rosa for like the puppets and the Lucian fight and such. So when you can have Exia, it's nice, but Storm Eye here is basically just a free upgrade to that. And whenever you get these reserve operators, they're free. So, they're solid. They are solid ops. They're just not top priority, I would say. But you'll never hear me be super sad about getting one. Alright, hopefully... Let's pop this. I like to save that for this guy, but just in case. Better safe than sorry. I actually probably should have angled Storm Eye up, because he adds a decent amount of DPS to this guy. We'll sacrifice you. Might not even have to do that, actually. Never mind. I was going to sacrifice Fang so that Thorns could get a few extra auto attacks. Because you could see just how fast he would have torn through Fang, but... not necessary. Mission accomplished. There's the level up. Thunder up. With the relic, the collectible we did just get, Soraya would be nasty. Like, you use S2 with this, and especially on like the poison damage stages, she literally just pumps out healing, like non-stop. It's hilarious, actually. Those ones, those ones aren't the best. We had one last time too. They're not bad, but they're just not the best. Let's go bottom. Bottom will give us 3 encounters. What did we just pick up? Oh, Cardigan. Over Orchid on this particular stage, yeah. We need hope. We went from doing the runs with all the other squads where we had just a ridiculous amount of hope to these ones where we have none. Yeah, Fang generates, what is it, 6? Yeah, that's not a whole lot. Truth be told, this stage is just not fun without Myrtle. I should have deployed Fang right here, actually, because then he would have been building up Destreza. That was kind of a dumb mistake on my part. These U's too, I don't know if there's a way to tell, because I don't think it's off of number count, whether or not you're going to get the one guy that jumps here, and if you don't take care of the guy that jumps here, he kills a bunch of units. So we'll just drop Cardigan here, and if we need to, we'll drop Lapland here. Actually, I might just drop Lapland here anyways, if we start to leak enemies. Luckily, this guy let Thorns build up Destreza, so that was nice. Drop Stormer. What's Stormer's good doing? Oh yeah. Basically makes him like a discount Arknight. Because I was looking at it and because people have made because they've been out for a long time, comparisons in anti-air between Arknight and Exia, and I believe it actually is, if there's multiple aerial targets, Arknight does do better, but if it's single target, or I believe high defense enemies as well, Exia just does more damage. She's just more useful in more situations, and she kills anti-air units fast enough that even if there are multiple targets, they're still probably not going to get through. Looks like we didn't get the version though, because I think it's around like mid-50s that'll show up. But yeah, sometimes a little air trooper like the ones that have been dropping here will just drop here, and they'll decimate these guys as they pop through, so you'll lose like 3-4 lives if you don't take care of them. Actually, quite obnoxious. Another guard voucher, but we don't have... Oh, free lumen. I was gonna say we'll just upgrade Telopsis, but free lumen. Okay, we did get the stage. I'm a little nervous about this run, to be honest, for doing this ending. Because as of what we have right now, I can't say I would be confident to win. Jesus. Healer for each side. We have Thorns for one side and upgraded Lapland for the other. It's unfortunate that we got a guard voucher when we didn't have 6 hope. We'll see. We'll at least get the opportunity to get fisted by the by that stage. Because it's gonna happen. I hate to be not confident, but so far... Man, I wish I had the footage from the run that I did. It was like just about a week ago. I dumpstered the playwright. It was actually really satisfying. But I just don't know if that will be the case here. That said, we once again did not check which boss we had. Let's drop Cardigan now. I didn't want to drop her too early because Thorns won't attack this bottom row. But it's fine. But you can see how much easier this is compared to when we did it last run on the second floor. When we had like, what was it, like 4 or 5 units? And 2 melees. Here it's just not even close to being a threat. If there is one unit that's really going... I actually really like Fang. I think my most used 3-star in IS2 is Cruz. Then it's probably either Ansel or Cardigan. Then it's Fang. Because Fang, I mean, if you have two hope, you're gonna get Myrtle over Fang every single time. But she's not terrible. Like, she doesn't generate a whole lot of DP. But she's not useless, like... She's a free unit, like... She's relatively okay. Wow, that is busting through her health bar. I should have used Cardigan skill earlier. Isn't this just... That's a bit of a weird one to time. I know his last skill, his S3 is like an ammo skill. That will like consume an ammo to heal status, but he gets permanent stat ups. Well, it's well not permanent, but stat ups while it's active, and so it interacts in a strange way. This is a Rosa. That's nice. We don't have a whole lot of attack speed with this, but I'm still considering just greeting all my ingots and getting just a little bit, because right now that's giving us what is that, 12? Yeah, it should be 12 attack speed to every unit. Not the most, but it's not something I'm gonna be sad about, you know? Don't need... Well, for this stage, actually, Cardigan might be nice. Once again, I would not mind, like, we got Pure Gold Expedition, I think, in 2 of our 3 or 4 early runs. I would love that right now. But IS2, I think, is about making the best of what the game gives you, and sometimes what the game gives you is a load of nothing. Luckily, Thorns can get a bunch of free attacks like this. And like we said last time, silence is nice for this stage. I would not say it's the most important thing in the world when we have 2 healers, because we can just bust through the enemies, but it never hurts. In fact, maybe I should have used Lumen here, because he would actually reach Lappy. And we don't have to worry about dropping a unit over here, because there's no firebombs to tank. That being said, though, I don't even know if we need to worry about the drones, because we'll have 2 lords at the back here. I will say, one thing that would be nice about Lapland's skill, I don't think it's really necessary, I think she still functions fine as is, but I've felt like this with Lapland and Exia's skills especially. If you could control when they go off, life would be so much easier. One thing I always found hilarious is apparently the slugs are pretty heavy, because I think the slugs, I guess it makes sense, a slug made of metal versus a drone. But I'm pretty sure she attacks the heaviest enemies first, S2 lets her attack 2. So she will naturally attack this guy, but I think she attacks a slug over a drone. Just always thought that was kind of funny. That said, though, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Stormeye. Oh, do we have... Is it Bearlord? Bearlord shouldn't actually be a huge issue, I think. Because once he passes Rosa's range, we're just going to pop Lumen where Rosa is. Because he won't walk back into a range. And then we just let Thorns, Poison, and stuff hammer away. We might not kill it, but I would hope we could. In fact, we'll slow this down. Because we aren't doing a whole lot of damage here, but that just chunked her a lot more than I thought it might. Yeah, actually. Never mind. Bearlord is way stronger than we are. He one-shots an E2 Thorns at this stage? Never mind. No free relic for us. Or collect. I always want to call them relics. I don't know why. I mean, the Bearlord and the Ducklord don't take away lives. So, doesn't hurt us too bad. Get some hope, okay? Hey, there's the squad size limit we were hoping for. Defender... We're gonna take Soraya here. We are looking for upgrades on a lot of operators. And we did get our encounter, so we don't need to worry about that. We can go for, hopefully, a free promote. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Not what I was hoping for, but not a big deal. 3 hope per squad size. At this point, we'll probably get at least 1 or 2 more squad size, so I am going to go for hope. That way, if we get the opportunity after beast fighting here to get Neural Alter, we can grab her for the fight. Also, I need to stop forgetting to do this. Terrifying Legends. Okay, we got an easy one. There is 0 chance we lose. I don't even think I've ever lost a life point to Terrifying Legends. Which, of course, once again, wonderful way to jinx yourself, I'm aware. But we'll do a drop cardigan here. This is a stage that I just loved that Project Red for, but without her, still not the biggest of deals, to be honest. We just kind of drop in units as we can, and eventually things will work out. I'm actually gonna drop... Actually, let's do this, and then we'll drop Thorns to defend. I'm not worried about protecting this treasure chest, but... And then I think Storm Eye can take care of this guy. Oh yeah. We are getting a little bit of free attack speed still from good ol'... I forgot there's another one here, actually. From good ol' coin-operated toy. It's no chalice, it's no commandments, it's still a good amount of extra attack speed. As I was saying earlier, it's not enough that I would like snub getting a good collectible from a shop. Whereas with chalice, I would probably greed it. But not too bad. Do we drop Lappy here? And then we drop Soraya right here. Oh, we did get the big boy. We didn't get him like the last 3 times we saw this stage. And I was surprised because I feel like I usually see him. Oh, we got 2 of the big boys. Not really a problem. At stage RNG, it's crazy. Like, because I think there's just a pool of stages for different, like, each area. And sometimes getting certain ones earlier than others it makes such a difference, it's actually kind of stunning. Okay, well, I was correct not to take the squad size. Yeah, we'll just promote Soraya. Because we should level up after this boss fight. But, I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to have more squad space. We actually actively don't want squad space anymore. And we have a good deployment limit. Like, surprisingly. It wasn't looking like we would at the start of this run. I just want power in my artifacts from here on out. Like, I do not need anything else. I will probably do a slightly different strat for this particular Terrifying Legends. And that's let Rosa kill them here. And we'll just try and hold them with a, with probably Soraya, actually. We set Rosa here, and then when he gets here, we drop Soraya and potentially Healer. And because Soraya has that whole restore 2 SP every time she's attacked, she is very, very tanky right now, even without a healer. Yeah, this guy's literally the only one that comes through this path, which makes it very easy to deal with him. Because every other boss, even Puppet, depending on which path it has, will... I mean, look at that. Every other boss has a path that it'll go through that it shares with some other enemies, except this one, I think. And you could argue that it theoretically could make this fight a lot harder, but in practice it really doesn't. It just means you need to devote like one Hella Drop or one boss carrier like we did with Neuro, we did it with Spalter earlier, like it just means you need to devote one thing. It almost killed her, but if she hadn't had that artifact, she would have needed a medic, but even then we just drop a medic, it's not a big deal. And then in the center, it's a deceptively long path too, like you have plenty of time to chip away at these guys. They have decent health bars, but just nothing here is enough of a threat. What I'm hoping it gives me here is Chalice. I've seen Chalice 1 out of maybe my last 20 runs, and it was that one run I was talking about. I would take Commandments as well. I mean, Commandments plus coin-operated toys plus 8 per 5 ingots. Because coin-operated toy by itself just doesn't feel that good for some reason, even though you'd think plus 5 or plus 7 instead of plus 3 wouldn't be a huge... I mean, plus 7's over double, but you get what I mean? It wouldn't feel like such a huge difference. It's a massive difference. Alright, that's not what we were looking for. I mean, it's a bit of a dud there. We could try running Horn. I'm not going to, but we could try. I do like Horn. I actually use her quite a bit. Not an IS2 though. All friendly melee units have 35% attack. That's good. That's some melee power. We'll go for the encounter. See if we get what we did. We didn't. Extra res is nice. A rogue trader. See what it gives me. +4. We will take that. And we will take this. See, I don't want to do this just because 40% attack is a massive on each heal. But the attack speed on every unit, including our healers, I do actually think is still probably more worth it. But yeah, I think as long as we aren't too unlucky, we can finagle things to our advantage here. Use a couple more sniper vouchers. We could use Myrtle. This is a good example of a stage that is actually a little bit annoying without Myrtle. I'm actually gonna drop her here. I don't usually play this far forward, but I kind of want Thorns to still gain SP off of Neural Altars lane here. I can't call her NT or Knight. I know it's such a meme, but I just can't do it. Alright, I'm debating if we need a medic or if we can greed for Rosa here. Because Thorns have self-sustain and Neural is on the healing tile. Well, why not? Next has to be a healer though, I'd say. But DP generation could be concerning for some of the later stages of what we currently have. Because all it takes, I mean, we have enough hope. It just takes one Vanguard voucher and we're fine. Because Myrtle is a unit that exists in this game. He might knock Thorns down. No, we're good. I couldn't remember if it took 2 or 3 hits off that hammer. Alright, here we set down Soraya. Actually, maybe not the best positioning. We should need more DP, so we'll pull in a Sharp. More into air, and then we'll probably drop Lapland like right here. This is the emergency op version of this stage, so it's, you know, a little more dangerous. Not by a whole lot, to be honest, but it's a little more dangerous. I did not angle that. It's fine. I didn't angle this guy. I thought I angled him up. That's awkward. Still not super concerned. I don't even know if another drone comes through, actually. No, there isn't one. So it's okay. Minor mistake by me, but you know what? The game still says it was a flawless strategy, even though it was a dumb mistake. Hey. And there's the Vanguard voucher. And she's already promoted. Promotion on Myrtle I don't think matters a whole lot. The only thing that's really nice about it is it gives her a it gives her free sustain because of her E2. And other Vanguard operators, but I don't usually use other Vanguard operators. I would really love a safe house for a promote on Rosa here is who I'd go for, but let's go for our encounter. I mean, this is a free collectible. A fist, huh? Well, we have pretty much everyone I think we want. We obviously need some promotions. Tolops's promotion, Rosa promotion, even Stormite promotion would be nice. But oh, it's this one. This one's, I actually don't see this one very often. I thought it was gonna be the one with all the chickens that run through, unless that's a Duck Lord version. But yeah, medic promotions. We even got lucky enough to get a Lumen, so our medic issues are more than taken care of once they get promoted. Hopefully the bear doesn't just chunk us. The bear doesn't cross these two, so I can actually be greedy like this. But you never know, the bear is absurdly tanky. Yeah, I mean, he does a lot of damage. He just punched twice. I could have used Rosa's skill earlier, but we should be able to defeat him on the second pass. And here I will just drop this. I wanted the sword for the first pass for that extra little bit of true damage, but the second pass isn't really like a concern. Oh, and we have Destroy's powered up. Hopefully this gives us just any damage increasing collectible at this point. I would be more than happy to take. Nice. I will take it. And we get a voucher off this, so a potential promotion. Although we don't have any hope. Do we? No, we have 5. I'm an idiot. There's our promotion. I have reason to believe that Lumen promotion might be better, but I'm going to go with what I'm familiar with first. This does also mean that we need to find our promotion, not a promotion, our second event for the 4th ending on the 5th floor. Hopefully we're not blind on that floor too. I actually really like getting the Bewildered bonus. Wait till they fire their rockets. There we go. I actually really like getting the Bewildered effect on this part, just because it makes it really, really easy to get your encounters. Because Bewildered floors literally just make the floor bigger, which can be obnoxious on like the hardest difficulty. That actually does sometimes hurt. On just a regular run though, I've actually not had a problem with that. Here we go. So we probably drop Lappy up here. What I'd like to do now is, and I haven't used Myrtle a whole lot since I got her, to be honest, but use Fang to tank some more. Here we go. I like to just drop Neural, and like, I don't have Project Red, which is a bit annoying. Like, you couldn't think of, but Project Red for my strategies is actually very helpful because of what I have her do. I forgot we have free offensive and defensive recovery off that last article, which is actually more meaningful than you might think. Yeah, you can just blitz the Rat King here, and it's kind of funny. Might as well keep those two there. I'll probably drop Rosa here. But there's one specific enemy on the Lucian stage that will come through and attack only ranged enemies, or ranged allies. And I very much prefer to have Red just assassinate that thing. Makes life so much easier. This stage, not a problem. Not helpful. It doesn't hurt, but I don't know how much hope we'll get, so I don't want to go for like Suzer in there. Friendly ranged unit attack, that's something. It's something. Hey, we got Bewildered. I was being honest, I wasn't being facetious, but I didn't think it would give it to me. So we have most of our encounters on this floor are at the end of the floor. The issue is, I want to go for every encounter I can, because I'd be very disappointed if we didn't get our ending. But we have 3 encounters in a row at the end. I'm going to be greedy, and if the greed doesn't pay off, then we're just gonna go beat up Lucian. Because I want that emergency op, and I want that safe house. Because the safe house should probably give us a promotion voucher or hope. And that really does make us a little bit more future-proof. And I think to get like a super good run in this game, you have to be a little greedy. What happened to my Neural Altar? Did I take her out? Wait, what? Hold the phone. Where did she go? Did I replace her like a moron? I wasn't even paying attention. I think I just went on autopilot and replaced a kind of an important unit. That's fine, this isn't an emergency op. That is annoying though. Did I replace her with Ansel? What did I do? How did I do that? How am I this dumb? Oh, so we could use a little bit of a higher deployment limit too. Thinking on what else we could use. That's awkward. Oh, we have 46 units here. This might... Am I remembering the unit count on this? If I get Duck Lord or Bear Lord and I can't kill him because I accidentally took Neuro out of my squad, I'm gonna be really sad. That's like the most autopilot, like I was just rambling and did something stupid thing I've done in a while. Yeah, the only dangerous thing about this stage once you get set up is that eventually on each side you get an enemy that'll stun lock an enemy. And that is annoying. In fact, I'm going to drop Ansel here specifically so that it stun locks that, I think. I can't remember the range. Lumen will get stun locked, but we have Soraya down here to heal, so I'm not too worried about it. We didn't actually get to show off her healing so far with the poison. But on the poison stage, yeah, it did stun lock Ansel, nice. I don't really have the ability to... Oh, it looks like Soraya can just keep him alive too. That does hurt a lot, especially to an unpromoted unit. No, we're good, okay. It is 46 on this stage. But doesn't 45 just seem like a much more round number, even though it's an odd number? Anyway, I can't believe I took Neuro out of my school. When did I do that? It's not like you can get rid of an operator in this, in IS-2. Alright, please give me a good voucher. I need one. I'll actually take it. Oh. Alright, deal. I wanted Project Red. We can use Spalter. She just doesn't have the stun. Hey, and we got the stage I wanted to show off on. It's probably helpful. Yeah, how did I manage to do that? What was I doing? But she can serve a similar purpose, so we'll go for it. We'll be the big greedy. But I am about to show you the power of how OP this artifact is on the Soraya. Is that not? Isn't that the dumbest thing? It's funny. Cracks me up every time I see it. It only ticks that fast on this particular stage, like the Poison Haze stage. But it's just like, you don't even need a medic on this. Literally just this stage. But like, you don't even need a medic. Like, she just... she outpaces the poison and damage from other enemies. No problem at all. In fact, we could give Neuro some support. Make sure this guy goes down. What's nice about this too is I can save some of my 2-block characters for the enemies out here. Because ordinarily I do use Project Red, but Project Red only has 1 block. Which is annoying because then they run right past her. No longer need SP. Yeah, we got one of the really good offensive recovery. It's gonna make getting to Streza actually so much faster. Oh, she does not do much damage at oh. Okay, Storm, I can handle it. I think she revives too before, yeah. And it's not like those guys attack at range, so she's basically just immortal too. I will say Spalter, when it's a free recruit, not only is it a free 6-star, you have to consider it also comes with max modules and stuff, which I do have maxed out module. So I guess it's a bit of an irrelevant point here. But it makes operators much more, like my Lumen is like level E1, I think 1. So this Lumen, once E2'd, is going to be way more powerful. In fact, I think since he's a therapist, he has a module as well. Which also makes a big difference. Because for the therapist branch, I actually specifically raised Whisper Rain. Because I thought she would be good for that purpose. long range healing. And in theory, Lumen's better. In theory, you know. Maybe not in practice, but... eh. In fact, I just keep forgetting, like... It's so unnecessary for Destreza right now that I just forgot it was nuke and active. The problem is that is the only offensive recovery skill we have. If we could get an Irene, I would use her for burst. Arguably Surtur is better, but Irene has the CC as well. Loyalty, not super helpful. Lone Wanderer, I don't actually think I'm going to the shop. I am a big fan of Lone Wanderer. You know what, actually, this is a massive floor. I'm debating picking up Golden Glow. We have enough hope that I think we're good, because the only other unit we're looking to recruit and not upgrade is maybe another guard. And we should level up at least one more time before the end of this floor. Biting Cold. If Golden Glow was E2, she'd be really good for this stage. Let's see. This is not my favorite stage in the world, to be honest, but eh. The real kicker is going to be, because I think it does force... So once you have one of the, like the fourth... Oh, I put that in the wrong spot. I always forget on this stage. I'm an idiot. And we're going to leak a couple enemies because I'm dumb. That's fine, but it is annoying. I just always forget. It says that the enemy's coming through here first, but on this stage it does come through bottom first. Not the biggest deal. Like I said, just annoying. I make little mistakes like that all the time, though. And that could cost us in the run. Just because of how obnoxiously difficult the final stage can be on the fourth ending. I'm gonna go ahead and do this early. Hey, Lumen can actually heal status effects on this stage. He can't reach Soraya, who's probably one of the more important ones to reach here, but... eh. I'm definitely a little bit out of it today. I just really want to stream this event. I was super excited and I was like, I want to pull on stream for Dorothy. Maybe that'll give me good luck. I swear, I don't know if it's just me, but I do get better pulls when I'm streaming. I don't know, maybe not in Genshin, but... my Arknights pull... Granted, my Arknights pull luck in general is usually surprisingly good. Like, I've mentioned it before, but I got both Dusk and Saga in 110 pull back in the day. And I was like ecstatic. I was like, that's awesome. Because that was the first time I'd gotten double 6-star, and it was like a limited plus the other raid up honor banner. Like, I was just like, whoa, this can happen to people. That's it. So that one little mistake we made at the beginning was the only thing we lost. Hey, and that kind of fixes that problem. Alright, here we go. Upgrade for Rosa. That's top priority here. Stormeye should be able to do his job for the anti-air purposes even without an upgrade. Promotion voucher? How am I not getting promotion vouchers? That's really strange. Because at this point, I'm actually going to go with the life. At this point, I don't think the hope is necessary because we're going to level up one more time. We did get a rogue trader. Healer's Path restores sanity. Ooh, that could be good. Guard operators have one block. That's not helpful. Keeper Sniper Otters. I know we're giving up on some of the value off our... what's it called? Point operated toy. I've given up on getting the chivalric ones, so let's just go ham, I think. I think the playwright does arts damage, and I will withdraw one so that we get 3 attack speed. It makes me feel a little bit better when I give up on an attack speed relic like that. If this is the one, okay, that's fine. I'll say, if that was the one, we could go for a free boon. Uh-oh. Okay, game, don't do me dirty. Whew! I thought the game was going to do me dirty, and I was being too greedy, and then it was just not going to give me my last encounter, and I was going to be, like, really sad, because that would have been really stupid. And it has happened before. I was like, there are three. Because I didn't go for that first encounter. I was like, there's 3 encounters if I go this way, surely. And I went through 1 and 2 and didn't see it, and I was like, oh no. Yeah, the extra resistance in the range of healing operators I actually do think could be a really good thing for us here. Stop that. Rosa upgrade, I did switch your scale, okay. Like, Rosa S3, man. I know Rosa is considered like one of the worst 6 stars in the game, and I don't think she necessarily doesn't earn that. Sad as it is to say. But like, come on, man. Like, it's good CC. I don't think Lumen can restore nervous impairment. Plus, nervous impairment, once the proc hits, I mean, it goes down fast enough anyway. It's not usually a huge issue. But that would be kind of crossing over, I think, into the realm of wandering medics. And at that point, why have wandering medics, you know? Right now, I would take a guard voucher or an upgrade to one of my operators. Any of those things would be nice. I mean, caster, specialist. I still want Project Red, but Project Red isn't... Actually, I think she's pretty helpful, to be honest, for the last fight, because those enemies explode at the end and she can just kind of tank a couple. Of course, that's when she's E2'd, and if we get a Project Red, it might actually be a better idea just to go for a, I don't know, I'm gonna have to think on that. It'll really just depend on what the vouchers give us. Because we're sitting on a lot of operators that aren't upgraded, because we were really greedy with some of our vouchers, and then we kind of just kept getting supporter vouchers towards the end. We got a couple, not too many. Enough to be annoying, but not actually that many. Stop hitting Golden Glow. Luckily, Soraya heals so fast right now that he's fine. An S2 Golden Glow isn't terrible. Right as she procs her skill and dies, but it's just not global. It gives her like the same range as like a Deadeye Sniper, I think. Which isn't bad. Really not. But yeah, any upgrade, just what would be the worst comp? Like Vanguard Supporter. If you give me a Vanguard Supporter, I'd be really sad. There's that Caster Specialist. Okay. So our options here are upgrade Golden Glow, upgrade Spalter, upgrade, or grab Project Red. I'm going to grab Project Red. I don't think upgrading Golden Glow is actually that important, because I'm pretty sure Golden Glow will just die. But ended up with max squad space. Let's go pick on Lucian real quick. Always a good time. Right. We can drop Rosa immediately. We can drop Myrtle. Yeah, just 20 or 30 starting DP, even 10, is so nice for stages like this, because it lets you be so much more greedy with your opener. Because ordinarily what I end up doing is, because I use, honestly, the same strategy a lot, I'll be honest. I will lead with Myrtle, and then I'll drop Project Red here temporarily, so that I can get enough DP down to summon some of my other units. But because of what we had, we don't have to do that. This is one of the stages that I've just done enough times that I've got I would say, a pretty solid strategy. I feel like when you've done a stage so many times, you kind of have to have one, you know? But I don't know if she can, yeah, because she's not upgraded, I don't think she can handle that. Maybe see if we can change aggro. We did not. Oh, for some reason I thought that was the sound of an enemy getting through, and I was like, what? Alright, we do this. I mean, he can't kill. Those guys can kill her, but I was going to say he can't kill Cardigan. I mean, even this late, she's tanky. Like, we just need her to last long enough that this guy doesn't kill one of these guys, and I don't want to deploy a medic for it. Although we do have the whole Rosa shtick, so... Oh, I forgot to... Oops. Oh, that's an enemy leaked. Alright, let's slow down. We actually have 15 lives. There's no reason to make stupid mistakes. You get skill. Oh, she didn't get skill off. Alright, this is actually getting a little bit out of hand. What I think I'm gonna do is just drop you here. Kind of shows what a difference, though, with this strategy having an upgraded Project Red makes. Because she does make a pretty big difference, actually. About that. Actually drop Lumen for a second. Why is the shield guard? Oh, because it's because. Oh, that's unlucky. The shield guard isn't dying because there he goes. I was gonna say because Neural wasn't hitting him, and Neural pierces defense. That could have been bad. All right, now we wait for him to drop through. One enemy league. I don't even know when that happened. Yeah, I am out of it today. I'm not doing good fights here. Wait, what? Oh. Alright, we need to kill that guy before he hops, though. There we go. And now that that's through, nothing else should be a huge danger. Definitely not the cleanest Lucian fight I've done. I made a lot of mistakes this fight, but it didn't really matter. Thankfully, I mean. We're down 1 net life. Like, I'll take that for how poorly I actually did play this fight. Not so bad. This makes me a little nervous though, because if I play like this, I will lose to the Playwright. The Playwright is not exactly the freest fight in the world. Now that I'm familiar with it, I do actually think the third ending might be harder. Just because Big Sad Lock is a DPS check, Lucian is required anyways. So I think the, not the Playwright, the Speaker. Because the Speaker just requires more specific... Let's actually upgrade Lumen. The Speaker requires more specific timing, I think. That's also really tough. Oh, wait, actually, are the enemies that... I'm gonna try this. I might regret that, but I'm thinking the enemies that self-explode at the end. Oh... This on the final floor has ended runs for me. It's actually not good. Alright, let's go for... Ooh, Hand of Super Speed. Okay. Radical Call. I know we talked about keeping our value on coin-operated toy. I think that could be worth it. What did we have again? So we don't have anyone else, so ideally we get an upgrade here. This game does not want to give me an upgrade. On the plus side, though, we don't need the hope, so this is 10 life points. Okay, Ursus Desire. This is not the one I was hoping for. The game hasn't been nice to me. Dang. I was hoping to get the Sarkaz one, because we're immune to Sarkaz damage now. I don't even... Wait, no, I think there are Sarkaz chargers here. So it's not for nothing, but it's definitely not ideal. Because if possible, I would really prefer not to lose any lives here. That's always the goal, but... That being said, I might let one of these big ships go through. That sometimes has to be the case, I think, when you don't have quite the right setup for this stage. I would really appreciate it if you stopped hitting me. Ow. If we do this, that should draw the aggro off, I think. Yeah. Those big drones hurt. Like, a lot. That's fine. I'm gonna drop Lapland here. And in theory, once your skill's up, she'll attack these two. Hopefully. And then this one I usually just let through with this setup. Because we don't have, yeah. We don't have Global Golden Glow. We don't have, like, anything that can really just handle that, unfortunately. I didn't do that quite in time. Hopefully Neural doesn't die for that. Yes, and I'm not playing super well this this run. And then Stormite, now that that's clear, I can set Stormite here and see if he takes her down in time, takes down the drone in time. I just kind of doubt it. Could be wrong, but I kind of doubt it. I forgot that would happen. It's fine, we'll just let the big drone through. Don't really have a problem with doing that. I'd say it's better to let one enemy leak in stages like this than to try and overextend and hurt yourself more. And it's just that big drone that'll go through, because it's just the drones that go through there. I'm a little worried about our damage output for the player, if I'm being honest, because we're not gonna kill him first cycle. Like, there is 0 chance with our DPS. So we're gonna have to survive and then clear him out second cycle. Alright, what have we got for me? Okay. Definitely Spalter upgrade. Upgraded Projector would also be really good, but definitely Spalter. Which module does it give her? Please tell me it's X. Okay. Okay. Not the cleanest run, not the best, not the strongest. Still, I think it's doable. We don't have the most power in our collectibles, but we don't have the least, like... It's just a very average run, to be honest. So, what I'll probably do is drop Soraya here. Myrtle here, because like I was saying, you don't want to put these enemies... I mean, you don't want to put your allies right next to each other, because it will decimate their health bars. I think we wait to put down Telopsis. Why are they just losing health? Wait, what? Oh my goodness. I didn't think that would die that fast. Let's slow it down. Throw down a healer immediately too. Didn't want to do that. We don't have a healer on Thorns, which is dangerous. Thorns does have natural sustain and he has Soraya with him, but that is dangerous. Oh no. Oh, I didn't get that down in time. I wanted to do that to bait out his big, like, the attack that hurts a lot. I'm still trying to completely understand how exactly all of the Playwrights attacks work, but I'm pretty sure the poison... Yeah, like there it hit Thorns. I think it hits the most recent ally, and I just don't think I got that down in time. Yeah, there it actually hitting Neural here I don't think is the biggest deal. It's annoying, but we're just trying to dump DPS with Neural here, so... Yeah, we do need to be careful. Ooh, the explosion. So these aren't Sarkaz enemies then. That's unfortunate. I was really hoping that they counted as Sarkaz enemies because it meant that I would be immune to their damage. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And we do have to kill the Playwright. That's not really an option available to us, is to let him go. Oh, he just walked right past her. Okay, he took out him. DP is starting to be an issue, but we'll figure something out. Alright, oh. Imagine if I missed that button right before she was about to die. That'd be bad. Ooh, ow. We need to recall Neural so that we get her back just a little bit earlier. Honestly, our DPS isn't terrible, it's just not great. And our healing is keeping pace, which is huge. That one artifact, or collectible, sorry, for Soraya has been super clutch. Okay, yeah, she just went down, that's fine. Oh, when he charges that up, let Red tank it. Red didn't tank it, oops. I thought it was... Oh no, he did. Yeah, it's that blue effect, and then it makes the towel unusable if that unit dies. Which, you know, is a problem. Just dump as much DPS as we can on the player. Right? We do need to be aware of, you know, DP, but that's an issue for a second here. Oh, he used that on Telopsis again. I don't know if the like whole poison effect actually can stack. If it can, it's a problem. Like I said, we do not have the health to tank a playwright going through, especially since it does. The final bosses do 30 damage. So if he goes through, it's gonna deal 60 because we're on a sensitive floor. We need him to stop attacking Telopsis now. We actually drop this. I dropped that so that if he attacks Myrtle, not... Oh, it didn't work. That's fine, just get off as much damage as you can. There we go. Okay, and we win. Definitely not, like I was saying, it was not a good run, but... And the nice thing is, once this guy's down, I mean, maybe do this. You can just plop down units as you will, because you're not in danger of the big blast. Yeah, that was a little sketchy. But also, I think this run goes to show how important, like, voucher luck is. Because we have an E2 Neural, an E2 Lapland, and that's it. And Lapland, and an E2 Thorns. So that means we got, you know, 3 guard vouchers. I do not think we would have been able to do this run with, you know, only having gotten 3 guard vouchers with any other squad. Because we'd have an E2 Neural, and we would have either invested in, like, a Thorns or Lapland, and they'd still be E1. Or we would have just gotten like a cheap guard or something depending on where we were on hope. Like, it's crazy how much voucher luck affects this game. And we didn't get, like, it was close too because we didn't end up E2ing some of our units. Which, you know, some of the ones that weren't E2'd I don't think would have made a huge difference. But it definitely would not have hurt. Like, every time we got supporter operators, right? Like, we could have maybe gotten a specialist, upgraded Project Red so she assassinated better. That's what made the Lucian fight kind of sketchy. Golden Globe being global is always nice. Lumen, getting a free Lumen was actually very, very good. I forgot to change him to S3 to kind of show off that permanent stat up he gets. I think I have him E1'd. Which means that I could then, like, show it off at least on stream, but where is he? Well, actually, I think I have him in my marked units. Yeah, here is he. So his E3 is, attack plus 40%, attack speed plus 20. Prioritize healing units with negative statuses, like a stun or something. He works really well with like the original Guard Spectre. And an ammo is consumed, you get 6 ammo, right? And it heals 150% attack. It only heals the 150% of attack if it consumes an ammo by removing a negative status. But if it doesn't consume ammo, because there's no statuses like stun to get rid of, he just permanently has an attack 40%, attack speed 20, which is not a minor buff. Like, there are many units that get much less from their skills. But overall, guys, I think that's where we're going to go ahead and call the stream. I think our next stream will... I have no idea what it'll be. It should be Saturday or Sunday. I'll try and stream something. Like I was saying, I do have a doctor's appointment Friday. I think another one Thursday. And I have a meeting tomorrow afternoon. So I got some stuff to figure out for, like, college, work, and everything with my health issues that have gone on top of that. But I do want to stream as much as possible. I really enjoyed this. I'm really happy that I got Dorothy. I actually do think I will use her. I didn't use her for IS2, I don't think I'll use her for IS2, and she'll take some getting used to, but I actually really do enjoy using her. I like the Trapmaster branch, I just don't think we've had a super good one since then, and I'm trying to fill out my roster. Because I always talk about it, but for me, my specialists have actually broadened quite a bit recently. Because I E2 Glaudia, I now have an E2 Dorothy. Before, you know, for a while when I was first doing IS2, it was just Project Red and Spalter. But now we have a few more options. I mean, I have more medic options since I E2'd a few more. Like, I've actually really expanded my E2 roster recently, like Gravel. So it's been getting better. Like, and I really am looking forward to the events coming through. Like the Texas Altar event, hopefully at the end of next month. Super excited for it. But anyways, guys, I will catch you next time whenever I stream. And thanks for everyone who stopped by or watched the VOD or anything. All right.